Admit it. Come on. You took my necklace, didn't you? Mindy looked at us and shook her head. She was sweating. Well, there are only 3 of us in this house, and if Andy didn't take it, then obviously it was you. Seriously, Cass, you got to believe me, I didn't take it. But clearly she was lying, because when I rummaged through her bag, Cass's necklace was right there. Cass told her to get out of her house, and Mindy burst into tears. Poor Mindy. I really wanted to stop Cass, but she seriously hates people touching her stuff, so I just kept quiet. You see, Cass and I are pretty much joint at the hip. We've always lived in the same neighborhood, so we grew up together and shared everything. Well, almost everything. Except one little secret that would probably ruin our friendship forever if she found out about it. Auntie, what are you doing? I started to stammer. This is so cute. Honestly, I'm so upset about Mindy. I can't believe she'd do something like that. I smiled, not knowing what to say. I mean, it was me who'd exposed her. Suddenly, I felt so guilty. Right at that moment, we got to the checkout. Cass took everything out of the cart to give to the cashier. Hang on, she exclaimed. What is this? This item has the barcode ripped off. The cashier made a fuss for a while and even called the manager. Cass and I stood there for ages, trying to figure out what was going on. Cass even started crying, thinking she'd be accused of shoplifting. After about 30 minutes, the store manager came and told us we could leave. They kept the items that had no barcodes and sent us on our way. Phew, that was close. What? What do you mean? Oh, nothing. I'm just relieved that we didn't get into any trouble. Just so you know, though, that wasn't the first time we got ourselves into an awkward situation while out shopping. Sometimes it was the torn barcodes, sometimes the tags were missing, then the security alarm would always go off at the door. And all of these situations weren't just coincidences. Okay, I gotta be honest here. The thing is, I have a habit of pilfering. Not because I can't afford stuff. I mean, my dad's the owner of a bank, so money isn't the issue. My dad basically buys me the latest phone every month. And you should see my wardrobe. I have all the designer bags. I steal because it gives me the kind of thrill that my boring daily life just can't give me. My dad just hands me money every day and never stops to think that maybe I'd like a hug or a how are you ever since my mom left when I was just a baby. He's been using money as a way to keep the peace. So one day when I was in elementary school, I stole a hairpin from the girl who sat next to me. It felt so good, like my own little secret. I loved the drama that came with it and the fact that no one ever suspected me because I was such a rich little girl. After the hairpin, I got addicted to stealing little things and couldn't stop. It felt like the only thing I could control in my life, and so I kept on doing it. And here I am now, still getting a buzz from it every single time. And yep, you've guessed it. The one who took the necklace at Cass's sleepover was none other than me, of course. But at that time, because I was so scared, I slipped the necklace into Mindy's bag and pretended to find it there. I was deep in thought when suddenly Alex's scream startled me. Guys, I've lost my unicorn pen. You know, the pen that glows? The whole class was suddenly in uproar. Some friends were trying to look for it. Meanwhile, Alex was walking straight towards me. Andrea must have taken it. This morning when I took out the pen, me and her were the only ones in here. I looked up at Alex, my heart pounding in my chest. This is it. I'm so done this time. Then I suddenly looked over at Scott Parker, the cute boy who just transferred to our class. Oh no, I couldn't give him a bad impression of me. I had to quickly think of a way out of this. You waited until I went to the bathroom to take it, didn't you? Alex, I'd never do such a thing. Besides, I have loads of nice pens. In fact, you can have one if you'd like. I pulled out a beautiful pink rhinestone pen from my pencil case and handed it to Alex. While Alex stared in awe at my pen, I suggested everyone go check their lockers to see if her pen was there. Sure enough, right by the lockers was the glowing unicorn pen she'd lost, right in front of Scott. I picked up the pen and handed it to Alex. I'm so upset you thought I'd steal this from you. But it's okay. At least we found it. Alex blushed and apologized to me. Our other friends also blamed Alex for not looking for it carefully enough and for jumping to conclusions about me. Next time, don't be so silly. Andrea's a good person. Besides, her family is so wealthy. Why would she need to steal a pen from you? I just smiled and walked away. Suddenly, a voice called out from behind me. It was Scott. He looked at me and said, Wow, that was totally dramatic. I'm Scott, by the way. You're Andrea, right? I'm sorry if this is a bit forward, but here's my number. Excuse me? Am I dreaming? Of course, I texted him as soon as I got home. He said he was so impressed with how I'd handled being blamed for the whole thing. Soon we were chatting every day, and eventually he asked me to be his girlfriend. I was so happy. But there was just one small problem. Ever since we'd started dating, I felt really ashamed about my bad habit of stealing things. I was determined to give it up, but it wasn't going to be easy. One day, Scott came to pick me up and asked if I wanted to go to the bookstore. A bookstore? No, I don't want to go there. Can we go somewhere else? Please? Seeing me panic like that, Scott looked puzzled. Then he suggested we go to his place to watch a movie, which I was fine with. Hopefully there would be no temptations for stealing there. A middle-aged woman opened the door for us at Scott's place. "Oh, this is Sandra, our maid." "Hi, Sandra. I'm Andrea." But instead of saying hi back, Sandra just stared at me in a seriously creepy way. It actually sent shivers down my spine. After watching the movie, Scott and his mom invited me to stay for dinner. Scott's mother, Mrs. Doris Parker, was really sweet, and we had some interesting chats. While waiting for dessert, I got up to go to the bathroom. But as I stepped out there, I almost bumped into Sandra. She was just standing there staring at me again. Sorry." She didn't say anything, but just kept staring at me in this weird way. Oh my gosh, why was she looking at me like that? The next morning at school, Scott told me his mother had just lost a valuable ring. She had a jewelry tray next to the bathroom sink, and after washing her hands, she'd forgotten to put her ring on. After dinner, the ring was no longer there. I comforted Scott, then made an excuse to go to the ladies' room. I needed to seriously think about this. Honestly, I'd tried my best to not get the urge to steal at Scott's place. But when I'd seen Doris's beautiful ring, no, I had to find a way to return it. No one could find out about this. And I had sworn to myself that I would never let this happen again. "Hello, Huh? Where's Sandra?" "Oh, she was fired. Mrs. Parker said Sandra had stolen her jewelry. Anyway, may I help you?" Oh no, I had to return this ring immediately. Poor Sandra. Scott came down for me and said he'd make dinner. I glanced through the window to find Doris was having tea in the garden. This was my chance. I snuck up to her room, quietly tiptoed in, and headed towards her jewelry box. Suddenly, the light came on. "Tell me, what on earth are you doing here?" I quickly turned around, dropping the ring to the floor. Mindy? Why are you here?" "I'm Scott's cousin. So it was you who stole the ring. I can't believe my cousin is dating you." Hearing the noise, Scott and his mom ran upstairs while I was still dumbfounded and speechless. "It was you who stole Cass's necklace too, wasn't it? She won't even speak to me because of you." "I'm so sorry. I know it's not okay, but I couldn't stop myself. I've been feeling so guilty, so that's why I'm returning it." I was still kneeling on the ground when a hand reached out to me and helped me stand up. "I'll handle this. Come on, let's have a chat outside, shall we?" Turns out Mrs. Parker is a therapist. She could see I had a problem and offered to help me. I told her how guilty I'd been feeling about Sandra getting fired and asked Doris if she could call her for me so I could apologize. 30 minutes later, Sandra arrived. As soon as Doris saw her, she apologized and offered her the job back. But no, ma'am, I was the one who stole it, and I deserve to be punished. I'm sorry, Sandra, I've already confessed to Mrs. Parker that I stole the ring. I didn't mean to get you fired. I just couldn't help it. You didn't do anything wrong. It was me. I was greedy. She is innocent. What on earth is going on? Obviously, I was the thief, so why was she defending me? Why are you doing this? Do we know each other, Sandra? And that's when the truth came pouring out. Sandra was my mom. Yeah, I don't know how this is possible either. So according to her words, she'd had a huge fight with my dad when I was a baby, and she'd fled to another city where she found a job working for Scott's family. When they moved to Seattle, she came with them. Even though she was nervous about returning back to where me and my dad were, she'd carried so much guilt about leaving us, and never in a million years did she expect to bump into me at Scott's house. I was so shocked I couldn't even speak. I'd imagined this moment my whole life, and now, here I was, standing face to face with her, and she'd even taken the blame for me. I couldn't believe it. Mom, I'm so sorry that I stole the ring. I can't believe you're really here. Sweetie, you don't need to apologize. I'm the one who will be apologizing for the rest of my life. Abandoning my daughter like that. What kind of mom am I? How will you ever forgive me? We stood there, hugging for what felt like forever, and I knew in that moment that I'd never steal again. Doris diagnosed me as having kleptomania due to a lack of love for my mom. But now that my mom was back, I had no reason to seek out those thrills from stealing. I had everything I needed right here. There were a few moments where I almost stole again, but Doris told me to call my mom as soon as I felt the urge, and when my mom picked up the phone and I heard her voice, the urge faded, and I felt so much better. Scott and Cass and Mindy forgave me after Doris sat them all down and explained more about my addiction and where it stemmed from. Now, Scott and I are still together, and I see my mom every day at Scott's place. My dad hasn't forgiven my mom for leaving yet, but baby steps. Finally, I feel like everything is complete, and my pilfering is a thing of the past.
Hey, I'm Connor, and I'm currently taking a well-deserved break from studying to hang out with my friends. I go to college at the Georgia Institute of Tech, and I'm sure to be a top-notch architect one day soon. Now I just have one thing to deal with, then I can properly enjoy my night off. Oh, here she is. Connor, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to hurt you, but sorry. We should stop seeing each other. Well, every ending is a new beginning. Cheers. I was the master of getting girlfriends I'm tired of to break up with me. It was great. as this way no one could ever accuse me of being a bad boy. What to do now? I reluctantly had to find a new challenge then. Oh, I'm sorry, I was just going to turn this in. That's okay. Just trying to find one more paper. What's your name? I'm Connor, hi. Her sparkling eyes, her shiny hair, her soft hands. But ugh, why was suddenly some nerd dragging me away from the hot girl and into a corner? Before I could ask him what was going on, he started waving a photo of this girl in my face. So it turns out this dude is called Patrick, and the girl in the photo is Paige, his girlfriend. Their parents are both influential sorts and organize their whole engagement. Sounds great, right? I mean, she's pretty cute. But no, he wanted me to find a way to make Paige break up with them. I've heard a lot about you. I need your help. I can't do this myself. Huh? Sure, I get it. A real man will never be the one to break up first. I might be able to help, but first, let's see what kind of person she is. The conversation started to become super serious. From the sound of it, this Paige girl was a genuine good-natured girl with a vulnerable side. So this needed to be handled with extra care, so that there wouldn't be any awkward family provocations from my clients. Perhaps... Nah, this way wouldn't work. Neither would that way. I was about to give up when suddenly Patrick stacked a pack of money, approximately $1,000 on the table. Help me, then it's all yours. Whoa, that was a lot of money to me. It would get me the magnificent PS5 of my dreams. Besides, with my charm and handsome looks, I could make Paige fall in love with me and leave Patrick in no time. Genius! My debut had to be spectacular, so I looked online and hired some people pretending to be thugs to block Paige's path. Then I'd waltz in and rescue her. The plan was all set, so I leisurely walked to the rendezvous spot, but oh no! Who knew those guys were real thugs? They threatened us, asked us to hand over all our belongings, then forced us to go to some abandoned warehouse. Oh my God! The $1,000 was so not worth losing my life for. Yes, I was somewhat afraid, but my flirtatious instinct kicked in, and I turned to Paige and started talking to her. Oh man, she's super sweet. And I noticed that when she talks about something that interests her, she crinkles her nose. She's so cute, but most of all, she's really smart. Why, you ask? Because just an hour later, the cops showed up and arrested the thugs. Turns out, before Paige handed over her belongings, she quickly texted the thug's license plate to a friend and asked her to call the cops. Phew! And, luckily for me, thanks to this destiny meeting, I got a little more information about her and learned that Paige was planning to learn Spanish to major in tourism there. But there's one more important thing. That is, I think I have a crush on her. She's not like any other girl I've met before. I want to win her heart, truly, not just because of the plan. It will be the best of both worlds. Patrick gets to be free of Paige, as requested, but she won't end up a lovelorn girl because she'll have a new handsome boyfriend by her side. Yep, that'll be me. There was just one problem. In all the commotion of the day, I'd forgotten to ask Paige for her number. Oops. I had asked Patrick for it and then texted her, but sadly didn't receive a response. I needed to be smart about this, so I decided to pretend to be a Spanish tutor. Yeah, I can't speak Spanish, but with my charm, that's no big deal, right? I created a flashy profile and told Patrick to pretend to surf and accidentally find me. Then show Paige. And so, ding! Hola, yo soy Professor Connor. But wait, sheesh! If only I'd studied Spanish harder in high school. And now the extent of my Spanish were just a few words I'd picked up from binge-watching Money Heist. So I just copied down Spanish lessons off YouTube and taught these to Paige. I don't know if it's because of my teaching skills or my charisma, but Paige seemed to think I was legit. However, my flirting tricks weren't going so well. I knew she liked me. I mean, who wouldn't like me? Besides, she gave me these cute looks and laughed at my jokes. Our chemistry was undeniable. So when I reached over and placed my hand on top of hers, I felt sparks fly. But then she gave me this awkward look and moved her hand away. She liked me, right? So why was she acting like this? I never failed at flirting. Feeling frustrated, I was trudging my way up the street when, was that Patrick happily holding hands with a girl? I recognized the long hair. It was Paige. Ugh, why can't she drop her lousy boyfriend already? And why won't she date me instead? I was about to leave, but the more I thought about it, the more resentful I became. So I bribed a little boy to run up to Paige and say, "Why aren't you with Connor, you cheater?" Mean, huh? But Patrick would be pleased as he now had a legitimate excuse to break up with her anyway. But when the girl turned around, I realized that she wasn't Paige. The poor girl looked completely dumbfounded. Patrick started yelling at her and pulling on her arm so hard she almost fell over. Huh? Where's the nerd Patrick? And that wasn't cool at all. Then he raised his hand to hit her, but I zoomed in front of him. Stop! No reason to hit a woman, bro! Patrick immediately grabbed my collar. You dare play tricks with my Becky, huh? Seeing that, the shocked girl quickly ran away. No, I thought it was Paige, so I hired the boy just to give you an excuse to break up with her. Calm down, bro. Patrick reassessed the situation, then he cleared his throat and said, Oh, well, I was bored of Becky anyway, thanks. I was still shocked by this jerky side of Patrick when he immediately said, By the way, you can stop the plan with Paige. I decided I like her now. Lately, she's been so full of life and less clingy. He told me he would still pay me, then he hopped into a taxi. Ugh, that's the version of Paige when she's with me. I gave her that zest of life, you jerk. Whatever. From this day forth, he was no longer my client, and I didn't want his stupid money. It was time I told Paige what Patrick was really like, so I arranged to meet her in a cafe and told her everything. But when she got over the initial shock, she snapped at me. I know this is all part of your twisted fabrication. I mean, you lied about speaking Spanish, and now you're just making up stories to break Patrick and me up. Then she threw my textbook back at me and stormed off. Oh man, that Patrick is such a slimeball. But I couldn't blame her for believing him over me. I'd seen firsthand how much of a wolf in sheep's clothing he was. I tried to find proof to show Paige, but that jerk sure covered his tracks. His whole nerdy bookworm facade was flawless. And he was still this sluggish nerd, wobbly clutching the bus handle to go to school every day. Ugh, what a con man. Just you wait, Patrick. It's time the world saw your true face. With such determination, I continued to spy on him around town. Then one time, like every other day, I was on duty when a group stopped me, accompanied by Patrick pointing at me. Here's our sandbag! Uh-oh, looks like I was busted. The whole group gathered around me, fists ready. Yeah, I was pretty terrified. There's no way I could fight off a group this size. I raised my fists and prepared for pain, but then someone shouted, Stop! It was Paige. Suddenly, Patrick immediately changed his attitude and ordered the group to leave. He told Paige that I stole his stuff, and his friends were helping him get it back. What? The swine! Connor isn't a thief, I know it for sure. There must be some misunderstanding. Please don't accuse him like that. Patrick's face changed. He grabbed Paige's hand and pulled her away, saying, We're getting engaged at the end of this month. Say no more. Okay, so I may have gate-crashed their engagement party, but I did hide at the back while the speeches were going on. Then, to my surprise, as Patrick was talking, they both spotted me. Then Paige turned to him and shook her head. It hurt to see her like this. Perhaps she changed her mind. What do you mean? Is this because of Connor? Paige kept quiet, while Patrick's parents were furious. How dare you cheat on my son? Who do you think you are? Paige, why is this happening? Really, Paige? Say something. Feeling the pressure and injustice of it all, poor Paige looked distraught as she desperately tried to hold back her tears. I really couldn't stand seeing her like that, so I jumped out of the crowd to come to her defense. Everyone calm down. Paige is the sweetest, most amazing girl, and she deserves better than this jerk. Don't listen to him. He's a thief and a fiancé stealer. I was done listening to this guy's slander. So I threw a punch straight at his smug face. Yeah, the engagement party had sure turned chaotic. I looked at the wreckage in front of me, the consequences that I had caused. Okay, so maybe coming here wasn't my best idea. Actually, this was all my fault for ever agreeing to help Patrick in the first place. Or I shouldn't have been a jerk in the first place. Feeling deflated, I arrived home and saw that I'd received a message from Paige. My heart thudded as I opened it. Thank you for everything, and try to practice your Spanish, as it's even worse than mine. Goodbye. And that was the last text she sent me. After that, I spent a month trying to contact her, but received no reply. So finally, I plucked up my courage to go to Paige's house, and was told that she'd left for Spain earlier than scheduled. Perhaps the shock was so huge that Paige wanted to leave this place as soon as possible. It was all my fault. I was the biggest jerk in this story, and now I'd lost the girl. Alas, vengeance is bliss. So I walked inside, went straight to Patrick's table where he was wasted in the arms of a bunch of girls, took a picture, and sent it to his family. What is done by night appears by day, my friend. A few days later, I heard that after being exposed, Patrick's parents had confiscated all of his bank cards. Even his current girlfriend dumped him. Ha! So that sealed the final breakup deal for my special guest. And now, guess where I'm at? Looking for the girl of my life, duh. And this time, I'm going to make sure I don't screw it up.
Hi, I'm Kate. And I'm doing something totally thrilling. I'm running away. Just picturing my parents' worried faces makes me smile. Why, you ask? They deserve it for trying to send me, their beloved only daughter, to some disgusting girls' boarding school. Yuck! No parties, the grossest uniform, bossy supervisors, and no hot-muscled guys. Ugh! That place is for nerds, not me. An it girl and the founder of Clique Chic, our school's exclusive group for the hottest, most sought-after girls. To be a part of the club, you must be really fashionable, you know? I'm talking about a wardrobe full of the latest designer must-haves, manicured nails, and the glossiest hair. Only girls as dazzling as us can make the school hallway our catwalk stage. As one of us, your life will be filled with endless parties and super cute jocks fighting for your attention. Studying and homework? That's not our thing. Those loser nerds who are chasing after us will take care of it.
Hey, do you know those people?
I looked outside and saw a group of bodyguards who were yelling and trying to force my cab to stop. Ugh, this was so uncalled for. $500 if you can get rid of them. The driver immediately sped up. Ordinary people will do anything for a little bit of money. He dropped me off at a service station, and I quickly snuck inside and hid in the restrooms. Ew, this place was gross. Gosh, those bodyguards were loitering about outside so no one could leave or enter without them seeing. How tragic. This was so stupid. All my parents needed to do was let me stay at home for the summer. But no, they sent those bodyguards after me to ruin my life. Suddenly, a cubicle door flung open and knocked into me. Ouch! Are you blind? What are those glasses even for? I'm sorry. The girl quickly apologized, then she bent down to pick her fallen stuff up. But when she looked up, I gasped in shock. Holy guacamole! What in the world? She looked exactly like me. I mean, at least her face did. Her style was disgusting and old-fashioned. Ew. But given my dire situation, I came up with an amazing idea. Okay, so this is weird. Do you want to make some money? And I mean a lot of money? She gave me this dumbfounded look. Ew, I hope I didn't get frown lines like she did when I screwed up my face. They were ghastly. I have a really lucrative job for you. As you can see, we have similar faces. Freaky, but fortunate. So I need you to pretend to be me and live my rich life for a month or two. Here's my Twitter account. Just skim through it. You can learn everything about me there. It should be enough for you to play the part and avoid my family's suspicion. And here's your payment. I rifled through my bag and handed her the rest of the cash. Jeez, this must be a huge amount for her, as her eyes lit up like she was seeing money for the first time, and she immediately took it. We quickly exchanged clothes, and as instructed, she went outside to hand herself over to the bodyguards. Ah, freedom! Now bring on one long, hot summer of fun. But first, I have to go shopping. Wearing these old-fashioned, disgusting clothes made me want to puke. Oh no! My parents have locked all of my credit cards! I can't even buy a soya milk iced latte now! Oof! How could my parents be so cruel? The worst part is, I had stupidly given all my cash and my phone to that girl. With no other options left, I reluctantly searched the girl's bag. A few old-fashioned clothes, some stupid books, and an unbranded lipstick? Huh? Was that all? How can people live like this? But, what's this? In her small notebook was a train ticket and an offer letter to work at Homestay Allen. So, looks like she's going there for a summer job. Hopefully that homestay has a bath with scented candles and a pool for me to sunbathe by. I need to work on my tan. I was glad to get off that flea-ridden thing and breathe in some fresh air. Now where was my ride? There was a short, chubby old man holding a board with the name Clara on it. Ah, the name on the train ticket was Clara. So this meant he was here for me? Ugh, he didn't even have flowers with him, and he could have at least combed his hair. So, turns out that's Danny, the manager and owner of the homestay. Honestly, if it wasn't for the circumstances, I would never have set foot in this stupid place. Oh, how the day got worse. Without even being allowed to rest my weary feet, Danny gave me work. Housekeeping. It was a joke, wasn't it? My nails were not made for menial jobs. Life here was horrible. I had to get up so stupidly early that it was still dark out, then clean a dozen dusty old bedrooms. After that, I would do the laundry, dry the towels and bedding, fold them, and arrange them neatly into each room. At noon, I also had to help the chef here, Anna, prepare lunch, and I was also forced to wash a mountain of gross dishes. I had never done such silly chores like this at home. Instead, they were always done for me. Didn't expect them to be this exhausting.
You should put them in order, so they won't break.
Ugh, where did this nosy guy come from? Are you lecturing me? I replied crankily and walked away. Suddenly, oh no! This was the 9th time I'd broken stuff since I'd arrived here, and that wasn't counting my poor broken nails. I quickly bent down to clean up, but ouch! I cut my finger on one of the pieces. The guy quickly ran over and bandaged my wound.
Bond, that's my name.
Huh? What's this? Did he just wink at me? My heart was pounding. He was cute. Yeah, he was really cute. I'm Clara.
Go do something else. Leave this to me.
Realizing that I'd been staring at Bond for a while, I hurriedly got up and rushed to the kitchen.
Nice to meet you, Clara. I'm your new colleague.
Well, that's not so bad. At least I have someone to share my workload with and to chat. The next morning, I was cleaning the floor, half asleep, when Bond came over, put an AirPod in my ear, and winked at me.
Imagine you're dancing. Then you won't feel so tired anymore.
Okay, this sounded kinda lame, but at least no one else was around to see me, so I decided to just go with it. So I gave it a try, with Bond, and I relaxed a little. Well, I didn't expect it to be so much fun. That night, as I was about to turn off the light, I heard a knock at the door. It was Bond. He wanted to show me a secret, so he took my hand and led me to the beach. Yes, we were holding hands, and his hand was really warm. He took me to a sandy beach and shone his flashlight at his feet. Something was moving under the fine white sand. Ew! What was that? I clung to his arm in fear. Aw, little turtles, I exclaimed as they slowly emerged from under the sand.
Yes, they're cute, aren't they? Let's give them a hand. They have to get to the sea before dawn.
I hesitated because I thought this was so stupid.
When the sun rises, they'll be easily spotted and eaten by predators.
Fine. Since Bond pleaded, I had no choice but to sacrifice my sleep to escort the baby turtles to the sea. Why would their mom just abandon her babies like that?
Their mom protected them when they were eggs, and now it's time for them to start fending for themselves. I bet they don't mind. You see, they're all trying their best to crawl towards the sea.
But it was us who helped them.
Then they'll be very grateful to you. And so am I.
Whoa, I'd never felt like this before. It felt like my heart was aching, but in a good way? Thinking about it, I suppose this was the first time I'd ever helped anyone before. Now I kinda understood why my parents did what they did. They just wanted me to be more independent and stop hanging around with those vain, show-off girls. They sure would be pleased if they could see me now, with this sweet and gentle guy. He was the total opposite of the rich boys back home. When I was hurt, he made sure I was okay. He opened my eyes to new experiences, and he didn't try to impress me with dumb flowers and expensive gifts. I've been thinking about Bond all day, and this is the 1001st time I've peeked at him. I think I'll have to confess my feelings before I go crazy. So, that evening, after finishing all my work, I knocked on Bond's door. Huh? Why was a teary-eyed Miss Anna standing there? Then she told me the shocking truth. Bond had left without saying goodbye. Panicked, I walked into the room, but there was nothing left of his. Nothing! No! This couldn't be happening! I hadn't even had a chance to confess yet. The next day, I felt so down. It sucked not having Bond here. But then in my zombie state, I accidentally picked up the newspaper at the front desk. OMG! On the front page was a picture of Bond! God, I couldn't believe it. He was the son of a famous billionaire and they were looking for him. Turns out, I wasn't the only one who'd run away from home. But why did he leave so suddenly? He could have told me the truth. He could have said bye. Ugh! My untold feelings for him felt like an unreachable splinter in my side. I couldn't carry on like this. I needed to find Bond. With my meager salary, I got on the train back to the city, imagining seeing Bond again. This is without a doubt the most nervous I'd ever been in my entire life. It didn't matter how much I pleaded my case and explained that I was Bond's friend. The security guards refused to let me in. I was about to leave when suddenly I saw Bond from afar. He was with a girl. What in the world is this? I tried to strain my eyes to see. My God, isn't that me? No, it's the girl I hired to pretend to be me. What was she doing with Bond? And why did they look so close? Could it be?
Hey, my name's Kelly, and I'm so excited to start high school. Yes, I get it. Most kids my age feel the same way. But for them, it's all about proms, later curfews, getting their own car, and having a cute boyfriend or girlfriend. Okay, so those things sound great too. But the thing I'm most excited about is joining a cool club. A music one to be exact. You see, since I was little, I had this dream of being part of an awesome club like in Glee. Finally, school started. I was so eager to dive into this new environment, but it took me a few days till I could get a clue of where the music club office was or how to apply for it. No one seemed to know, to be honest, or maybe it's because I've only been asking freshmen who were just as lost as me. Anyway, after a lot of pacing the hallways, I found a room that said music club on the door. Well, it actually said M6 Club, as the U was missing, but it had to be it, right? I couldn't contain my excitement. I took a deep breath and pushed the door open. Hello, everyone. What was this? I took one quick scan around the room, as there's not much to look at anyway. There was a rusty guitar in the corner, a dusty drum set, and some rackety old chairs. 3 girls were sitting separately. One girl greeted me shyly, so I went and sat next to her. She said, "Hi, I'm Daisy. I play guitar and sometimes the bass. I learn ballads, you know." Then this one girl who was painting her nails interrupted her. "Ballads are the worst." She rolled her eyes. "But luckily for you guys, I sing a mean pop tune." Daisy turned to me and whispered, "That's Mia, and I'm not really sure if she can really sing though." The only other girl in the room had her headphones in and was dancing weirdly. Daisy told me she was called Jill, and she could kind of play the drums. I looked around the room of misfits once again, and I'm not gonna lie, I was really disappointed. This wasn't what I imagined. I told myself it was okay, and that more kids might join up later on in the term. I mean, it wasn't the easiest club to find, so it might take some time. That's all. Besides, this was my chance to claim leadership here. So, without wasting any time, I gathered them all up for a little discussion. Then I started with introducing myself. "Hey guys, I'm Kelly. I started play organ since 8. I've been trying to learn to compose songs too." There was not much reaction except for Daisy's shy claps. I then continued, "So, we should have a team leader, right guys? Let's cast our votes. Everyone will have a minute to talk about why they should be the leader." Daisy nodded her head. Mia rolled her eyes and mouthed, "Whatever." And Jill, well, she still had her headphones on. So I took the lead. "Okay, so I'll start then. I think as the president of this club, I will..." Mia cut my words. "Fine, you're it, whatever. Who else votes for Kelsey? Hands up." I started saying, my name is Kel." Mia raised her hand and then shook it out so her nails could dry. Jill raised her hand even though I don't think she actually knew what she was voting for. And Daisy raised hers while shyly adding, "I think you'll be a great leader, Kelly. I'm too shy anyway, so you'll have my full support." Well, okay, that was easy, so I'm a club president now. That will look so good on my portfolio. Now, I will bring back this club from oblivion. We will revive it. I'll have my own high school musical. I was actually excited. As soon as I got home, I went through my song list and picked out some good ones. Then I texted the girls to bring their instruments in the following day. But then at practice, all my dreams came crashing down. Daisy was right. Mia's singing voice was terrible. But she couldn't play an instrument, so I had to let her take center stage, which she loved, as she clearly liked the spotlight. But then Jill folded her arms and refused to play. She can't stand there. She's covering me entirely. The drum is the soul of the song. Duh, I should be center. This annoyed Mia and they started bickering. I left them to it and went over to Daisy. Please tell me you can sing, can you? We gotta do something. Mia couldn't be the only vocalist. We'll be doomed. Daisy looked stunned. She shook her head continuously. No, I can't do that. It's already such a big challenge for me to play in public. I can't sing. I tried convincing her that she could sing backing vocals with me, and she'd be fine. In the end, she agreed, but only if she could wear a mask on stage. What? Fine, I shouted. Fine. Guys, Daisy, it's okay. You can put a mask on while performing until whenever you feel comfortable. And you two, no need to fight. I'm sure the stage is big enough for you both to be in the spotlight. This is just a practice session. No one is here to see you. Just put up with it for a bit. Then when we're on stage, we'll figure it out. They all mellowed down a bit, thankfully. Geez, talk about draining. So, over the next few weeks, we got to work, and OMG, what a clash of personalities. I felt like I was the glue holding us all together, and it was so exhausting. Mia wanted to practice in the morning, but Jill wanted to meet in the afternoon, so I suggested doing a morning one day and an afternoon the next practice day. Then there was a song choice. Mia and Daisy were keen on a Taylor Swift song, but Jill tried to rock it up and made it sound awful. I compromised by letting her have a drum solo in the middle of it. They were hard work, but the strange thing is, I was actually beginning to like them all. Mia gave us all style tips and even let me borrow her lip gloss. Jill always recommended us some really interesting Netflix series to watch. Daisy made us homemade snacks to munch on during practice while I helped them out with their homework. Besides all the bickering, there were definitely friendships blossoming there. The problem is our band sucked. We'd only performed twice during break time at the school basketball game, but no one even noticed us, not while the dance team was performing. They were so in sync, and this one kid could do the splits. I mean, how could we compete with that? Then finally, the prom came. This was our big shot. We prepared a lot and practiced hard for it. We even went picking out prom dresses together, thinking about how glorious we would all look on stage performing in these gorgeous dresses. Before our performance was the dance team's. So we couldn't set up our instruments beforehand since they said they would be in their way. So as soon as they finished, we had to rush on stage with our instruments. Trust me, this is not as easy as it sounds, especially when all of us, well, apart from Jill, were in long puffy dresses. Talking about Jill, she chose to wear this cape instead, and it kept on getting tangled up and messing her rhythm. Daisy was distracted by the lights, so she messed up all the notes, and me, while I was playing, suddenly my keyboard stand collapsed. I guess due to being in a rush, it wasn't properly set up earlier. I had to improvise and immediately sat down to continue to play, and then Mia was too into it and sang off-key while dancing, which made her out of breath. It was a literal disaster. Seriously, it was so bad the baffled crowd gave a mixture of chuckles and amazed gasps. This is not how I envisioned it to go. Afterward, we walked in silence back to the music room to drop off our instruments. Then Jill said, I told you the prom dresses were a bad idea. Not only did you sound awful, but you look stupid too. Mia was fuming as she replied, says the girl in the stupid cape. Since when has the Count Dracula look ever been good? Jill said, at least I have talent. You're tone deaf. I am not. It's not my fault I have terrible backing singers. Yeah, right, Mia. Was that what you call singing? All you did was dance and scream. This ain't a nightclub. Mia fought back. My fault? What did I do? It's all because all you played so awful, so I had to try my best to stir up the crowd. And you, she turned to me, were you on stage to chill? Who on earth sits while performing? Me? Now you're blaming me? You were the one who set up the keyboard stand for me. It's because you didn't do it properly. Lucky for you, my keyboard is still okay. Never mind, guys. Let's not. Hey, you guys should have taken care of your own instruments. Don't blame me. Even if I sang off key, it was because you guys played terribly. Who chose this song? It was too hard for us. Okay, let's stop blaming each other and focus on figuring out how to improve ourselves, or else I doubt that the school will let us perform in any event ever again. Again, isn't this enough to call it a day? This stupid club shouldn't even exist. I'm out of here. I quit. Me too. What a waste of time. Bye, losers. Ditto. Sorry, Kelly, but I can't do this anymore. I could only stand there and shout as they walked through the door. Guys, are you kidding me right now? Guys! Okay then, just leave. To hell with this club. My Glee Club dreams were over. Yet I just stayed there wondering what I was meant to do now. This was the worst day ever. But it was okay. I joined another club. Maybe the dance club. I mean, I couldn't dance all that well, but I could learn, couldn't I? The Monday after, we all went to the club room to grab our stuff. The four of us didn't say a word to each other. It was super frosty. Then out of nowhere, this guy stepped in. Well, not just any guy. Cole Henderson, the hottest boy in freshman year. At first, I thought he was lost, but then he said, "Hey guys, is this the room for music club?"
Hey guys, my name is Leah, a typical nerdy girl and a huge fan of Ace, the most talented, brilliant, incredible actor ever. But in the limelight, I transform into Aubrey Fern, the glamour star of the hottest movie right now. Follow me crush with the real-life Ace. How is it possible? Well, I just got really lucky. That day, I was walking home from college when I suddenly felt like someone was following me. This sketchy guy was definitely up to no good. So I changed my route through this stinky alley, trying to lose him. But he stayed relentless and chased after me. So, you've chosen death then. When he was 10 feet away, I picked up a trash can and dumped it on his head. Grabbed a golf club nearby and started smashing non-stop. You creep! You messed with the wrong, innocent, helpless little girl!
Stop! Who are you calling creep? I'm an artist manager from Moon Entertainment.
Wait, Moon Entertainment? As in Ace's management label? Then why didn't you say so? Turns out his name was Grayson, and he's not here for my angelic voice or charismatic dance moves, but guess what? For my face. This guy must be a comedian.
A few days ago, you used the celebrity twin filter on TikTok, and the result was Aubrey Fern, an actress under our management, correct?
Yeah?
Moon Entertainment actually created that filter. We were looking for someone who looks just like Aubrey to replace her.
Okay, I must have hit his head too hard. I'd better get away from him quick. But he caught me right away and immediately teleported me to the company headquarters. Even the CEO himself came to welcome me. They were dead serious about me filling Aubrey's shoes. Heck, her whole identity. Apparently, the actress found showbiz too stressful and decided to quit. But she was one of the top faces of the company, so they couldn't just let her disappear. Out of nowhere, the door swung open and entered Ace. He rushed towards me, genuinely concerned, and gently dabbed my nose dry with his own sleeve.
So, this is who I'll be dating? Looking forward to that.
What? Dating?
That's right, Leah. I've just released a statement of Ace and Aubrey dating. People are going wild. As a new Aubrey, you'll get a once-in-a-lifetime chance to be Ace's girlfriend. Just for show, of course. But who knows? He seems into you.
I think I just hit the jackpot. Aubrey 2.0, here she comes. The next day, I arrived at a top beauty salon for a celebrity makeover. From the shine of my hair to the size of my pores, everything had to be flawless. And you wouldn't believe how many designer outfits and jewelry I got to try on. I looked like $1,000,000. Ace was gonna freak out the next time he saw me.
You may look like Aubrey, but your personality needs some work.
Jeez, who spat in your coffee this morning?
Anyway, you better tidy up, cause I'm moving into your house.
What? No way! You and your spiteful mouth should stay 10 feet away from me, or else I'll call security.
Ha! Guess what, Miss Diva? It says right here in the contract that your manager, aka me, has to supervise you 24/7 so you don't spill anything confidential.
You're bluffing.
Am I though?
I stared at the contract, too stunned to speak. Why did I sign without reading it first? The guy's a nightmare. He even pretended to be an Italian exchange student and followed me to class. Weirdly, all the girls on campus were gushing over his fake accent.
Sei un porco.
I don't know what's more pathetic, his Italian accent or that you guys are actually swooning for that. Uh-oh, these girls did not know how to take a joke. Whoa, you guys wouldn't want to touch my face. My contract says it's worth, but before I could say another word, Grayson dragged me away like a rag doll. Other than that, life as Aubrey was amazing. I got to appear on loads of magazine covers, attended a bunch of exclusive events, and starred in the most anticipated rom-com of the year. And you know what the best part was? Ace was right by my side. Imagine being this close to your idol every day. You could just fall head over heels for him, literally. But no worries, people would still think that you're cute, as long as you know how to pose for the camera. One time, I heard Ace say that his ideal type is a girl with a healthy, sun-kissed skin. So I figured I should give tanning a try. But when I arrived at the film set the next day, everyone laughed at me, saying I looked like a half-dried-up squid. This was so humiliating. Bet Grayson had a blast making fun of me. But instead, he rushed to put his jacket over my head to cover me up.
Why are you trying so hard for that narcissist? You look ridiculous. I think she looks kind of cute. Just needs a bit of blending.
It's Ace! He's standing up for me! His handsome face suddenly came super close to mine.
Care to go on a date with me tonight?
Yes, 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 a million times yes. I immediately went home after work, scrubbed off the stupid tanning lotion, and got ready at lightning speed. We're meeting at this private restaurant on the 32nd floor of a luxurious building. And there Ace was, the brightest star amongst the city lights, waiting for me. He was so gentle and sweet. We were having the best time. His dreamy eyes looked at me like he was about to say something. Something sweet. I could sense it. When flashlights came from nowhere, blinding us. Paparazzi? How did they get in here?
Aubrey, is it really you in the picture?
Ace, what does it feel like being cheated on? What are they talking about? Just then, a strong arm suddenly grabbed my waist and pulled me out of the crazy crowd. It was Grayson. I'd never felt happier seeing his grumpy face. We got into the van, and Grayson showed us his article of me kissing a random guy at a beach resort. What? This must have been photoshopped. We gotta clear this up. Ace didn't listen to my words. His face was twitching in anger.
Do you have any idea how this affects my career? Me being cheated on? That's just pathetic. Pull over. I need to get out. I can't stand you right now.
He slammed the door shut, then stormed off. I was speechless. I'd never seen this scary and mean side of him before.
Don't mind him. He can be a real douchebag sometimes. I'll get you some ice cream, then we'll go home, okay?
Grayson's words cheered me up. I'm honestly touched by this cold hands, warm heart kind of guy. Grayson tried his best to shield me from the public backlash, but it was all for nothing. As Moon Entertainment let false rumors spread like wildfire. Now Aubrey, aka me, was being badmouthed everywhere. A tramp? A bimbo? Some even said I was a stain in Ace's career. That's it. I couldn't do this anymore. I launched into the CEO's office ready to give him a piece of my mind, but he was just chilling with Ace.
Leah, just the person I'm looking for. I'm about to make an announcement stating Aubrey is not the one in the picture, and you and Ace are still deeply in love.
No thanks. I'm here to quit. This pressure is all too much.
Now, calm down. Maybe a nice trip to the city of love will help you relax, right, Ace? Of course. Let staff fix this while we take a break and maybe get to know each other better. Come on, I'll drive you home.
The last time we met, Ace went bonkers on me, and now he's being as nice as pie. Talk about Jekyll and Hyde. Suddenly, he stopped the car at the riverbank and turned to me.
Leah, I was wrong to take it out on you. I've never faced high pressure like that before, and I lost my mind. And you know what? That night, I was about to speak from my heart. I love you, Leah.
He pulled me in for a kiss. It was so out of the blue, I didn't even know what to think. But then he opened his eyes and looked at me. So in love, I couldn't help but give in.
Baby, I can't wait to be with you in Paris.
It was everything I'd ever wanted, right? That night, Moon Entertainment finally cleared up the rumor. That's not all. Pictures of Ace and I kissing were making the headlines. How did they get this picture? Those paparazzi are so sneaky. I was so perplexed, and for some reason, kept thinking about Grayson and how he would feel hearing this news. I came to the roof to see him sitting deep in thought. Hey, haven't you heard? They cleared up my scandal.
Remember, that's not your scandal, Leah. Don't let Moon Entertainment manipulate your life.
You don't trust them?
Yeah, and I don't trust Ace either.
It's got nothing to do with Ace. He's my boyfriend for real now. Plus, we're going to Paris for a romantic break. Grayson let out a solemn sigh. I guess he was just trying to protect me from the company. But he didn't need to protect me from Ace, right? He still went with us to Paris and lingered in the background with a stone-cold face. I was embracing this moment with Ace, and as we strolled together, a group of fangirls recognized him and flocked around us. One of them even held him back, crying like a lunatic. Ace, don't you miss me? You promised!
What are you talking about? Leave me alone.
He pushed the girl aside, then dashed out of the crowd. I tried to follow him, but a hand suddenly snatched mine. It was a girl burying her face under a mask and pair of sunglasses. She snuck a USB into my hand and said, Ace's darkest secrets are in here. You're scaring me. What do you want? The girl tried to reply, but Grayson cut in between us and pulled me away. We ran and ran under the sunlight of a spring day in Paris. Why was this single moment way more romantic than anything I had with Ace, my idol? Could it be that I have fallen for Grayson? Grayson took me back to the hotel, looking somber as he turned to leave. At that moment, I realized I didn't want to let him go. He was the only one who understood me and got me through this crazy double life, not Ace. Neither he nor his celebrity lifestyle suit me. Ace would be better off without me in the way of his stardom. Grayson had tried warning me many times. Maybe the girl in the mask knows something. I plugged the USB into my laptop and a video popped up on the screen. There's proofs of Moon Entertainment manipulating the media all these years to cover up for Ace's scandalous private life. Dark things us fans have never seen before. His anger issues, his drinking problem, his cheating scandal? I scrolled down to see a dozen pictures of him with different girls. Kissing! And they're not just random girls, but it's actual fans. I know them. Look, it's the crying girl this afternoon. And this one is a well-known admin of one of his fan sites. This was unbelievable. He'd been playing his entire fandom for fools. Right then, I heard grunting sounds coming from the balcony. Someone was trying to climb into my room. Wait, the stranger who gave me the flash drive? For all I knew, she could be a dangerous stalker, given all this proof she somehow had. Panicked, I grabbed the USB, ran straight to Grayson's room, calling for help. His door opened just as the stalker reached us. He hit me behind his back and faced that crazy masked girl.
Better not make another move or you'll be locked up in jail right this minute.
The girl stopped, hands in the air. The moment we took off her disguise, I was shocked to the core. It was Aubrey. I know this seems crazy, but please listen to me. What you saw in that USB is the truth. Ace's manager provided me with it.
What USB? And you didn't choose to leave the industry? The CEO even made all the staff delete your contacts and basically erase your existence.
That snake has been lying to you all this time. I didn't quit. I just wanted a little time off to deal with my mental health. So I went on a digital detox for a while. When I came back, I found out I was already fired without a reason and replaced by a lookalike. I was so devastated I didn't know what to do. Luckily, Ace's manager reached out to help me. He's witnessed Ace's true face, and he despised it. But Moon Entertainment's trapped him in a contract lasting till the end of Ace's career. There's no way out for him until now. His manager has been secretly collecting and sending me evidence, then told me to come to you, because you're also one of their victims, just like us. Gosh, this was unbelievably messed up. You know where he went after our encounter this afternoon? I shook my head in confusion, as she showed me a video of Ace making out with one of the girls earlier at a party. How could he be so shameless? Did us fans look like fools to him? No need to hesitate anymore. I'll take this douche down, in the name of his devoted fandom. I went on to play Ace's girlfriend both in the movies and in real life, while Aubrey used my identity to find a new part-time job as a monitoring staff at the National Broadcasting Station, the organizers of this year's Movie Sensation Awards. No way Ace wouldn't attend, since he was nominated for Best Leading Actor. Poor guy. He has no idea what's in store for him. And there Aubrey is. With the help of Grayson, no one even notices we've switched back. I've also managed to earn Aubrey the host position for this year's award. Now take a seat. The show has begun. And the Best Leading Actor goes to Ace! Classic Ace played out his surprised and emotional act when he got on stage.
I would like to thank my fans for the support they've given me all these years. I'd be nothing without them.
Yeah, right. Now mic off, lights off. Here's the evening's main event. Ace's true face as a deceitful womanizer. Everyone gasped and started whispering. I shine a spotlight on the audience and a girl stands up. I'm one of the girls in those pictures. He told all of us girls he and Aubrey are just a publicity stunt so that we would date him in secret.
I was his photographer once, and he literally screamed at me for 20 minutes because I didn't get his good angle. I'm a bartender at his frequented bar where he gets wasted, hits on girls, and starts fighting with random guys every day.
The audience start booing and throwing things at Ace. The cherry on top is that this whole fiasco is being broadcasted live worldwide. It's safe to say no one will ever be fooled by this douchebag again. Which means my work here is done. I go outside to see paparazzi and fans swarming around Aubrey. She handles them so gracefully it looks effortless. The limelight isn't for me, and that's fine. I'm glad I'm back to being a normal girl who doesn't have to care about public opinion. Best part is, I get to date my idol manager boyfriend over there. I'm thinking a nice home-cooked dinner to celebrate our successful plan. And our 1-month anniversary as well. What do you think?
My name's Tulip. Ever since I was a kid, I was obsessed with solving mysteries. While other kids stuck their faces into video games, I was busy snooping around and finding cases to crack. Like where to find Mom's missing earring. Ta-da! Detective Tulip to the rescue! Aw, thank you, sweetheart. My detective skills actually came in handy sometimes, but more often than not, it could be a disaster. Like one time at my aunt's wedding, I noticed something strange about the cake. It looked too perfect, too smooth, too suspicious. According to all the detective movies I've watched, whenever food looked this good, there was only one explanation. Poison! So I went to investigate, and that's when I saw this stick in the center of a cake. Why would anyone put a stick in the center of a cake? Theory 1, someone wants my aunt and her husband to choke. Theory 2, it's a hidden weapon, but not on my watch. So I yanked out the weapon, and the cake crumbled like a pack of cards, making a big mess. Gotcha, you cruel... It's just an ordinary stick? That was a dowel stick! It was holding the cake together! Oh, so no poison then? Mom took me home immediately and banned me from doing any more detective stuff. But I wasn't about to give up. Not when my best friend Cherry still believed in me. Even if the rest of our classmates scoffed at my detective adventures, she would always listen with her whole heart. I know you're gonna be like Sherlock. No, even better! You're way too smart. Whatever happened, I knew it'd be alright as long as I got Cherry by my side. And that's why it hurt so much when she had to leave, because her mom got a new job in Asia. How's your new place? It's nice. A bit small, but cute. Aw, Cherry, I miss you so much already. I miss you too, but I promise I'll visit and we'll see each other again soon. And just like that, I was all alone. Everything sucked after that. Without Cherry, my detective adventures didn't seem all that exciting anymore. And my parents were too busy arguing to notice their once lively, fearless detective daughter had become a lifeless blob.
I told you to fix a sink! And I told you I don't have magical plumbing powers!
I thought I was going to be that emo kid forever. Then I turned 16 and someone came along who changed my life in more ways than one. Meet our new transfer student, Sadiq. The moment I saw him, my long dormant detective instincts kicked back in. There was something off about him. He barely spoke, always kept to himself. But the strangest part was that he never put down his school bag. Not during class, not at lunch. At first, I thought it was just a weird quirk, but then came the swimming competition that just took it one step further. Sadiq was one of the chosen swimmers for the competition. You would think that at least when he's underwater, he's gotta leave behind the bag, right? Nope, he just dove straight in. The bag's still strapped on. Rumors exploded. Some whispered he was hiding stolen money. Others joked he was smuggling something illegal. My detective instincts were itching to get in on the case, and apparently I wasn't the only one who thought of bringing back Detective Tulip. I was cornered in the hallway by the school bully Greg and his group of loyal minions.
Hey, Tulip, it's been a while since you bragged about being a detective. What happened? Finally realized you're too short for the job?
Stay cool, Tulip. Stay cool. No way was I letting Greg get under my skin. You wish. One day I'll be solving crimes on your screen as the biggest detective ever.
Well then, why don't you prove it? Find out what's in Sadiq's bag. It should be easy peasy for someone with your skills, right? Solve the case, and we'll personally spread the word about your genius detective work. But if you fail, we'll help you bury that stupid dream forever.
You're on. I took the challenge for 3 reasons. 1, I was curious. I mean, come on, who wasn't? 2, I was bored. And 3, solving this mystery would be my way of proving to myself and everyone else that Tulip the detective was back in business. I couldn't wait to tell Cherry about this new adventure when we finally reunited. At first, I tracked my Sadiq's every move at school, seeking an opening to peek inside the bag. But that got nowhere. This guy was way too cautious. Then I decided on a more direct approach. Maybe if I were his friend, he'd just spill his secret and save me the stress of investigating. Hey new guy, I'm Tulip. Mind if I join you?
Whatever.
Okie dokie, what was that? So this guy just had 0 social skills then. I kept trying to start a conversation again and again, but no matter what I said, Sadiq would only respond with a snort, silence, or barely audible yes or no. It was like talking to a brick wall. So I switched tactics. I was going to follow him home. He had got to put it down at some point. I was sure of it. If I waited outside his window, maybe when he was going to sleep or take a shower, I could just quickly sneak in, snatch the bag, and unlock its secrets. A bit stalkerish, I know, but if he never found out, it wouldn't cause any harm, right? So when school was over on Friday, I followed him. I tried my best to keep a low profile so he wouldn't notice me, but I suddenly lost sight of him, as if he had just vanished or teleported or something. I was going to leave, but as soon as I turned around, I immediately bumped into Sadiq!
You again? And now you're stalking me? Why?
How did he see me? How did he even get behind me? Was this guy a ghost?
I asked you a question.
My brain short-circuited in that moment, and I blurted out the first excuse that came to mind. I just think you're the coolest boy ever! The second it left my mouth, I wanted the earth to swallow me. Utterly baffled, and who could blame him? I was baffled myself!
You don't even know me. Stay out of my way.
I could only stare as he left. I was double horrified. Horrified he caught me stalking, and horrified at the horrific love confession. I sure wasn't in love. I wasn't even in like with him. So, my great plans had blown up in my face. But I couldn't let go of that school bag mystery. And now, it wasn't just about the bag, it was about him. He was a mystery himself. How did he appear behind me so fast? Supersonic speed and teleportation aside, but more than that, it was his eyes. The weight in them. You don't often see that in every high school kid's eyes. I was eager to learn more about him. But you know how they say curiosity killed the cat? Well, mine was about to make me cross a line I'd regret forever. The next day at school, I snuck into the admin's office to get the records, and I took out Sadiq's file. My hands were shaking from excitement and fear of getting caught. But when I read it, shock slammed into me. Sadiq's family went through a fire accident, and it took his little sister's life. The report said that the accident had taken a toll on Sadiq's psyche, and he hadn't been the same since. Sadiq was just a boy, still mourning and hurting over the loss of his little sister. And here I was, selfishly prying into his privacy because I was too fixated on having my detective adventure. My best friend moved away, and that alone shattered me. How much worse was his pain for losing his sister forever? I realized nobody should invade another's privacy just to satisfy their curiosity. So I told Greg I was done.
So you're backing out because you're a chicken?
No, I just think we should leave him alone. He probably has his own reason that is none of our business.
What a loser! Fine then, we'll show you how it's done, but don't you dare forget our agreement. After we're done with him, you're next. Let's go guys, Detective Tulip here needs a demonstration.
Greg and his lackeys stormed into the classroom to find Sadiq. I tried to stop them, but it was no use. I was just a girl against 3 boys. They went straight to Sadiq's desk.
What's going on?
Oh no! I rushed in, but they'd already yanked the bag away from Sadiq. Stop it, Greg! I ran to grab the bag from them, but the worst possible outcome happened. Greg immediately ripped the bag apart in front of Sadiq's eyes. No! A chilling silence crept into the room as the bag's contents spilled all over the floor. Even Greg went pale. On the floor, there's a scorched stuffed rabbit. A cracked family photo, and a small silver urn with the name Prishna engraved on it. It was exactly what I had thought. He was carrying memories of his sister with him all along. Sadiq's body froze on the spot as he fell to his knees next to his sister's urn. I turned around and punched Greg right in the face. He deserved that. After the teachers got involved, Greg and his gang were suspended, while Sadiq was advised to prioritize his mental health first and take as much time off school as needed. I assumed he would resume school in a day or two, but a whole week passed, and he never showed up. I couldn't help but feel responsible for this. The agony on his face when it all happened was still haunting me. It was worse than when Cherry moved away. I was in such distress that even my parents stopped arguing and took notice.
Honey, are you okay? You've been so quiet lately.
That it only took a few words for everything to spill out like a broken dam. For the first time in ages, I had a real heart-to-heart with my parents. I told them everything. How Cherry moving away crushed me, how their fights made me feel completely alone, and how I hurt someone who didn't deserve it. I had expected scolding, maybe indifference, but instead I got a, "I'm so sorry, honey. I can't believe we got so caught up in work that we forgot to be there for you."
But no more. Let us make it up to you. We'll fix this. Together.
It felt good to have my loved ones by my side, to know that I wasn't alone. With Mom and Dad's help, I went searching for Sadiq's home to make things right with him. Relief washed over me at the sight of his face.
Tulip, what are you doing here?
I came to apologize. Please, hear me out. I was worried he would avoid me again. Luckily, his mom kindly let us in with a sweet smile. She even gave us some privacy so I could say what I needed to. Your home is beautiful, and so is your mom. You took after her. Not that I'm calling you beautiful or anything. I mean, you look fine. Yes. Oh gosh, why do I keep saying stupid things when I'm around you? I thought he'd roll his eyes or give me one of those glares that said I was annoying. But instead, for the first time, I saw Sadiq smile. Just a tiny, barely there smile. But hey, that counted too. And it was enough to give me the courage for what I had to say next. I'm sorry, Sadiq. It was my fault. I took a stupid dare from Greg to find out what was in your bag. I got so caught up in this imaginary adventure that I didn't realize I was doing more harm than good until it was too late. It was thoughtless and invasive of me to pry into your personal life like that. I'm sorry.
They're the ones who tore my back, Tulip. Not you. My sister. What happened to her was on me. I was supposed to look after her while Mom was in the hospital. But I was exhausted and I accidentally left the cooker on.
There's a sinking feeling in my chest. I couldn't bear to see him trying to take on all the blame by himself. It was an accident, Sadiq. I'm sure your sister wouldn't want to see you torture yourself over and over again because of a past that cannot be changed. After all, she's still with you, right here. Forgive yourself and live on, for her sake too. Sadiq's eyes softened and my heart felt lighter.
You're right. I guess I thought the only way to remember her was to carry the weight of my mistake everywhere I went. But turning her memory into a burden, that wouldn't be fair to her. That's not how she'd want to be remembered.
Trust me, this wouldn't be letting go or forgetting her. It's living the life your sister would have wanted for the brother she loved. I could tell this was already a huge step forward for Sadiq, which was why I also encouraged him to seek a professional grief counselor to further help the healing process. He was hesitant at first, but after encouragement from both me and his mom, he finally agreed. After that, we became the best of friends who shared tons of happy memories together.
I was wondering, if you would love to go bowling this weekend, or the movies, or, I don't know, anything?
He promptly looked away, and for a split second, I could have sworn I saw his whole face going red. My detective instincts tell me that perhaps something even more might be blossoming between us soon. Sure, I'd like that.
That's my dad, Marcus Baldwin, the world-famous jockey. Now he's the chairman of a super successful horse racing club. As his cherished only child, I was given everything I could ever dream of. But then, something big happened that changed things. Before I tell you more, don't forget to like and subscribe. At the age of 8, I was in the playroom brushing my doll's hair when Dad let this tatty-looking woman and her daughter in.
Audrey, I'd like you to meet Belinda and her mom. They are going to be staying here for a while and be our new maids.
Belinda looked so frightened. So, feeling bad for her, I took her hand and let her play with my dolls. We soon became the best of friends, and I even managed to persuade Dad to let her attend the same school as me. Unsurprisingly, I grew up obsessed with horses and dreamed of becoming a famous jockey like Dad. I practiced riding my horse, Jackal, every day after school, and we became quite the formidable team. Soon, I was winning a heap of junior contests, and even the newspapers predicted I'd be the next big name in the world of horse racing. This certainly helped my popularity at school, and I began a clique full of elite members. However, there was one slight problem. Due to Belinda's humble background, the other girls didn't get with her. Where did you get those shoes from? Your grandma? Did you let your grandma style your hair too? Come on, girls. Let's see if the canteen has any oat muffins left. Everything was practically perfect, and to put the cherry on top of the cake, I was invited to a gala event for talented young jockeys. I needed to look the part, so I got my driver to take me to the mall to find the most amazing outfit. But on the way, everything changed. I woke up in the hospital, wearing an ugly gown and feeling dizzy with confusion. Oh my, you're awake! Huh? Why am I here? Sweetie, you were in a car accident. You've been in a coma for the last 2 years. 2 years? What? No way! That meant I'd missed out on 2 whole years of my life and was now 17. I missed my own sweet 16th. Once I got over the initial shock of being Sleeping Beauty, I made sure to ask the most important question. Is Jackal okay? Who won the Grand Youth Championship? After catching up with my parents, they told me something even more surprising.
Audrey, you've been very poorly, and we thought we were going to lose you. You needed a new kidney, but we weren't matches. But Belinda was, and she donated you hers.
We are so grateful to her that when her mom sadly passed away, we decided to adopt her. She's now your sister. I was sad to hear about Belinda's mom, but grateful for what Belinda did for me. I'd always seen her as my sister anyway. Right after I got discharged from the hospital, I was excited to get back to school and resume my life. Only, it seemed the world had moved on without me. No one dressed like me anymore, and I was stuck in a class with 15-year-olds. I tried to interact with them, so when I saw the teacher pinning up a picture of an elderly man, I asked if this was her grandpa. The whole class fell silent for a second, then suddenly exploded with laughter. It's the president, Audrey. Ugh, how was I supposed to know? At lunchtime, when I went to join my old friends, I overheard them talking. 2021 called, it wants its tennis skirt back. What language is she speaking? Oh my god, Audrey is like an alien. She doesn't know anything. I mentioned the lucky girl syndrome trend, and she literally looked at me like a fish. Come on now, you know she can't help it. Let's go get some cheese fries. Anything you say, Belinda. Belinda was on my side, right? It kind of felt like she'd stepped right in and taken my place. At least my parents would be glad to have me home, right? Wrong. Mom was always shopping, attending yoga class and the spa, but she didn't ask me to go with her. Instead, she always asked Belinda. It felt like she'd forgotten that me, her real daughter, actually existed. Meanwhile, at the riding club, as I traipsed through the stables, I heard Dad talking to Belinda about an upcoming event.
I'm so lucky you're here to help promote this event. I'd be lost without you.
I no longer fit in at school, at home, or at the horse racing club. Life has changed around me, and I felt frozen in time. Worse still, I had to take this gross medicine. One time my maid was chasing me around the furniture trying to make me take it, but I used ornaments, cushions, and books to block the path. I was so distracted making my obstacle course that I bumped straight into Douglas Barron, my dad's business partner.
My, you certainly are a determined young lady.
Later that evening, Dad called me into his office. I thought he was going to grumble at me for not taking my meds, but instead he said something I wasn't expecting.
It seems that Douglas is rather impressed by you. He wants you to date his son, Damien. The firm's been under a lot of pressure recently, and having Douglas on side would be beneficial, especially as he's our biggest stakeholder.
What? You want me to date a stranger just to help your business? I can revive the business myself without having to do that. I just need to win the horse racing tournament.
No, it's too soon after the coma. You're not ready yet. Dating is the only way.
As if I was gonna listen to Dad. So I secretly came here with Belinda. I was about to saddle up Jackal, but then I got a whiff of horse manure and began to feel dizzy and nauseous. Dad suddenly showed up and took me to the hospital. Turns out, I'm allergic to horse manure. Ugh. Then Dad started yelling at me for training without his permission.
Thankfully, Belinda informed me what was going on and told me about your allergy.
Belinda? Why? Sorry, sis. I only told Dad as I'm worried about you. Whatever. I'm still going to horse race again.
Actually, there's physical therapy, and if you pass the agility test, you could still get back to training.
Dad, please.
Fine. Do the therapy, but only if you go on this date with Damien.
I agreed to go on the date, but I never said anything about being well-behaved on it. So in order to prepare for our special date, I watched this tutorial video, How to Dress to Attract Men, a tutorial. Rule number 1, make sure your hair is long and never put up. Rule number 2, make sure to show a little skin, ladies. Rule number 3, footwear should be dainty and delicate. And ta-da! As I showed up at the restaurant looking ridiculous, I instantly recognized this quirky guy from school, Damien. So, I made sure I had the most unapproachable expression on my face. As soon as I sat down, I purposely ordered the weirdest food combo, ice cream hamburger. I was convinced he'd think I was a lunatic and leave, but instead, he reached over and drank a bite of my ice cream burger.
Interesting.
What? How could he like that? Someone please call the food police over here.
Your fashion sense is so refreshing. Everything about you is fascinating. I am rather smitten.
The rumors about him being quirky are definitely true. After the disastrous date with Damien, I met with Cooper, a medical student at the hospital who was helping me with my physical therapy. During the training, he was attentive and super encouraging. I was beginning to feel better, but then Damien showed up and insisted on staying there so he could check Cooper was doing his job properly. He wouldn't stop humming annoying tunes and munching on potato chips really loudly. Then at home afterward, he wouldn't leave and continued bugging me. When he finally left, I moaned to Belinda about how annoying he was. But to my surprise, she said she thought he was cute and funny? Hang on, does this mean Belinda likes Damien? On the day of the physical examination, I passed every single test without any mistakes. I was smiling as the doctor made his announcement.
Miss Baldwin, I'm afraid you failed the assessment.
I ran out of there and cried to myself. I felt someone sit next to me and was about to tell them to go away when I realized it was Cooper.
Audrey, the improvements you've made are impressive. I was sure you'd pass.
Seeing his caring face made me feel a little better. We talked some more, and then he offered to drive me home. As we walked around the corner to the parking lot, we heard Belinda raising her voice with, "The doctor!" We stopped to listen. "I'm not giving you more money. I already paid you for failing Audrey. Sign this, so I can be sure you'll keep this a secret." What? How could Belinda betray me like this? Belinda, why? Why did you do this? You don't understand how hard it is living in your shadow. I love the horse riding club, but you're coming back, and there'll be no use for me there anymore. You ruined everything! Then she stormed off, leaving me standing there stunned. I immediately got home and told Dad what she'd done. I expected him to be on my side, but
I'm sure you're overthinking the situation. Besides, you should be grateful to Belinda. Not only did she save your life, but now she has agreed to marry Damien to save the company.
Belinda was only doing this to steal my life. It wouldn't work. I was more determined than ever to go back into horse riding and claim back my life. Mine! Meanwhile, Cooper helped find another doctor to test me, and this time I passed. I showed my results to Dad, and he finally allowed me to go back to training. But when I brought up Belinda bribing the doctor again, he just remained quiet. Am I even his daughter anymore? Okay, change of plan then. I met up with Damien to ask about his marriage with Belinda. So, did you agree to the marriage?
No way! I don't want to marry whatever her name is.
Great! I mean, that's sad.
Well, my heart belongs to you.
How about we get payback on them and fake date? Just faking it though, if you don't mind.
Fake? Real? If it means being your boyfriend, then I'll do it!
So we immediately returned home, walked inside and linked arms and gave each other lovey-dovey looks. Belinda's scrunched up face was a picture. I resumed horse riding practice and got around my allergy problems by using sachets and spraying perfume all over myself. It worked at first, but then I started getting allergic to the sachets too. Cooper immediately took notice, and the next day he showed up with some homemade herbal sachets. Not only did they help cure my allergy, but they also had a calming effect on me. Without the allergy bothering me, I could focus on practicing. And soon I was back to my amazing former riding self again. I showcased my talents to the club and everyone seemed impressed.
A talent like you should be head of the club.
Yeah, I may not be a big talker like someone I know, but actions speak louder than words. Belinda was clearly jealous of my rise to success, so she pulled some mean pranks on me at school. One time she suddenly turned nice and offered me a coffee, but it turned out she had snuck hot sauce in it. I was so mad. I changed her ringtone to fart sounds and called her number. It was hilarious! But then she suddenly fainted and was taken to the school infirmary. Oh, come on, she was so hurt she fainted? I told the other students she was faking it, but instead of listening to me, they all took Belinda's side. You're so ungrateful. Belinda even gave you her kidney, yet you scared her so much she fainted? Yeah, you wouldn't be here today without her. What kind of person are you? Feeling deflated and not listened to, I ran off. I stormed home, and on the way, bumped into Cooper. Unable to hold my emotions anymore, I burst into tears. He insisted we went for a walk, and I ended up spilling out everything to him.
I don't condone what Belinda did, but I kinda see it from her perspective. She's an orphan who longs for a family. She finally found her place in the world, and then you woke up and became a threat.
I never thought of it like that before. I realized the best thing I could do was to stop the pointless revenge and put all my energy into my recovery. I stopped hanging around with my clique, then broke up with Damien. I trained hard at the club, but not for my dad or the company, but for myself. Belinda showed up and tried provoking me, but I just ignored her. All my hard work paid off, and I qualified for the tournament. At the tournament, I was leading the race and felt unstoppable. But then some bees started buzzing around Jackal's face. He freaked out and started bucking. Then everything went dark. I woke up in hospital feeling drowsy and saw someone rummaging in my bed. Belinda, what are you doing? Then Cooper appeared.
Is this what you're after? I saw Belinda swap the sachets for pollen ones to attract the bees. I bet she also switched the ones before to worsen your allergies.
What did I do to deserve this? It's so easy for you, isn't it? Because of you, I've lost everything.
Belinda, how could you? Apologize to Audrey right now.
No, I won't. This is all your fault.
It's all my fault. Many years ago, I was in a relationship with Belinda's mom. We ended on amicable terms, but it was only in her final days that she told me the truth. Belinda is my daughter. I didn't want to upset anyone, so I kept it to myself. But then when you needed a kidney and Belinda ended up being a match, I used this as a reason to suggest adopting her. Then you woke up and we were so happy. I didn't realize how this had affected Belinda, or you, Audrey. Please forgive me. I want to put it right.
Mom and me were so shocked, and Mom told him to go and find Belinda. After Dad left, Mom hugged me.
Sweetie, both you and Belinda deserve warmth and love. I promise things will be better from now on.
As I left the hospital the next day, I saw Belinda walking toward me. I'm so sorry. You've been nothing but good to me, and I was horrible. I was so worried about you when you were in the coma. But when you woke up, I got scared no one would want me anymore. I care about you, Audrey. You're my sister. I wrapped my arms around her. You've always been a sister to me, Belinda. But please, no more pranks. Then I saw Cooper walking over to me, holding a huge balloon. Looks like you have company.
I'm glad you both made up. Here, I got you this.
Hey, I'm Sophia. If you missed the first part of my story, I'll get you up to speed. I'm a hopeless romantic with the worst luck, until I stumbled upon the most gorgeous robot in my friend Gabriel's basement. Crazy, huh? Guess what? I also named him Edward and started dating him. But then, out of the blue, he vanished. So here I am, running around looking everywhere for my robot boyfriend, who had actually shut down. Ugh, I should have exercised harder. I kept running and running and running when bam! I accidentally ran headfirst into, oh my god, Edward! I immediately wrapped my arms around him so tightly. Where have you been? You got me worried sick! But hang on, his body's warm, and I could feel his heart beating. I let go and stared at him. This is Edward's face, all right, but something seemed off. I couldn't stop myself from poking his arm and pinching his cheeks. Whoa, you can blush now? Were you upgraded? Then I gave his hair a pull test and another hug. This is perfect. I love it. Then a drop of sweat landed on my cheek, rolling down to my mouth. It even tastes salty. Ed, you're so cool.
Enough already, crazy girl. You're lucky I don't condone violence against the mentally ill. Kindly get away from me, please.
So you're a real person? What the heck? Then why does he look just like Edward? As if things couldn't get any worse. The mean girls from school drove by. They seemed to have recognized me because their car slowed down and one girl stuck her head out. Walking to prom all alone? Where's your boyfriend? Did he see some sense and dump your sorry butt? Looks like you returned to spinsterhood for good. I couldn't say as much as a squeak back and simply lowered my head in shame. They were not wrong. Suddenly, someone linked arms with me. I looked up and saw that guy.
I'm her new boyfriend. You got a problem with my girl?
I was confused. So were the mean girls. Isn't he still the same guy? Is he crazy too?
Birds of a cuckoo feather?
Flock together. Let's go, girls. I was so grateful that he'd come to my rescue that I absent-mindedly clung onto his arm and jumped up and down in excitement. The guy just shook me off coldly.
Calm down. I only did it because I don't like seeing anyone being picked on, especially if they really are crazy. Anyway, do you remember where your house is? I'll take you home for safety.
Hey, I'm not crazy. I'm absolutely 100% normal. Let's see. The first person to discover America was Christ.
Okay, that's enough. No need to prove.
Then he told me his name was Nathan and asked why both me and those mean girls seemed certain he was my boyfriend. Yeesh. I couldn't exactly tell him I dated his doppelganger who's a robot, could I? He already thought I was nuts. It's just, you look a lot like someone I used to date, but, only from a distance. Close up, you have different eyebrows, different frowns, different smiles, and different expressions.
Okay, I guess that makes perfect sense.
Wow, he actually fell for that?
Okay, bye.
Wait, I still needed to find out if Nathan the human and Edward the robot were somehow connected. Hey!
What now?
I, enjoy talking to you, even though you think I'm crazy. Would you want to hang out again? I could show you my sticker collection? Jesus, what are you saying, Sophia?
Sure, you can hit me up whenever. Here you go.
Oh, wow, that was easy. I guess I had much more games than I thought I was. But 3 days had gone by and I still hadn't texted Nathan. I followed the 3-day rule and waited. But what if he ghosted me? The possibility of rejection sounded bad, but not finding Edward seemed even worse. That thought freaked me out so much I hit send without thinking. But I felt regret right after looking at my nonsense text. No way he would reply. Then my phone dinged.
Not since I was 12. Why? Don't tell me you collect robots as well as stickers.
Just curious. I don't collect robots, but now I'm thinking about it.
You make collecting robots sound the same as collecting stickers.
We messaged back and forth all day, and then before I knew it, we arranged our first date. We met at the park, and he brought me ice cream. I happily accepted it, while still focusing on my mission. Yum, ice cream! Do you think robots get sad that they can't eat it?
I imagine they don't give it much thought.
Wow, you seem to know a lot about them. Did you study robotics or artificial intelligence?
No, I didn't. It's obvious robots don't enjoy ice cream like we do.
So you don't want to be a robot?
No, not really.
I tried to subtly sneak more robot questions in, but he managed to answer all of them and never seemed caught off guard or anything. The thing is, I was enjoying spending time with Nathan, especially as I was extra lonely without Edward. So I agreed to go on more dates with him. I also decided to start visiting Gabriel after school again. Today, I brought her some cookies and apologized for being absent, but she seemed distracted. When I asked her what's wrong, she just said,
I misplaced something important and now my grandson is unhappy with me.
Oh no, she already knew about the robot. Have you seen it anywhere? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to activate it. It just looked so real and it followed me home and became my boyfriend, but then it vanished and...
Sweetie, what are you talking about?
It was me. I took the robot.
What robot? I was talking about the control for the toaster robot.
Say what? I was screwed. And now I really had to come clean. Then I showed her a picture of me with Edward and also me with Nathan.
Dearie me, they do look like twins. James hasn't said anything about it, so he probably hasn't noticed either. In the meantime, please keep looking for Edward, but it's best that you investigate the link between him
and Nathan yourself. If I start asking James questions, he'll only get suspicious. I was relieved Gabriel didn't scold me. She's right. I needed to solve these mysteries myself, and the only way was spending more time with Edward's identical human twin. And I'd been doing just that. Nathan and I had gone on a couple of dates already, and I liked how he was always sweet toward me, even though I was still shy and found it hard being around human guys. He always took care of me and didn't seem to notice any other girls. Best of all, we had a special spot just for us in this beautiful forest that Nathan showed me. I gradually noticed how similar he was to Edward, like how both of them often surprised me with sweet treats, didn't mind when I said or did silly things, and smiled whenever I smiled. Nathan was also super smart.
Do you know it takes 100 cocoa beans to make one candy bar?
I didn't know that. I just know how to love you.
Me too. You know what? The longer I'm with you, the cuter I find you. I just can't resist.
This cool guy had a silly side to him too, like when he'd bet me he could catch a squirrel or climb a really tall tree, which reminded me so much of Edward running after my cat. But unlike a robot, Nathan had this funny snort laugh and he chewed his nails. Ew! And he could be a grump when we were watching TV. He had this annoying habit of changing channels mid-show. ADHD much? Usually these traits would have put me off a guy, but for some reason when it came to Nathan, I found them endearing. I guess relationships aren't always rosy, because humans are supposed to have imperfections, right? Although, I figured there are things we could accept or overcome together. So I encouraged him to give the nail biting a break, and he eventually stopped. Besides, I gradually can't get mad when you took over the remote anymore. Nathan, I'm watching it!
Babe, just 5 minutes, please.
And who knew that a high-speed car chase could be so thrilling? So far, I'd say our relationship had been spontaneous, unexpected, and a whole lot of fun. Time passed, yet there was still no sign of Edward. I owed it to Gabriel to solve this mystery before her grandson found out and got mad. I knew I had one option left. Ask Nathan directly. Nate, you need to come clean with me. Do you know anything about this robot?
Yeah, right. Calling me a robot. Very funny, Soph.
Okay then, do you remember doing this? I saw Nathan's grin fade to this puzzled look.
I don't know anything about this. It's concerning that someone is using my appearance for an artificial intelligence product. Who knows what this could lead to?
Talking to Nathan hadn't helped at all. I was left feeling even more confused than before. So I decided to take action. The next day when I came to Gabriel's, as usual, she was putting on her coat to leave. She told me she just had to drop off a present at her neighbor's, but she'd be back soon and I must stay and join her for dinner. Time and place, Sophia. Being alone in her house, I found myself staring at the basement door. That's right, I'd looked for Edward everywhere except here. Maybe I'll find some clues there. The coast was clear, so I headed down to the basement. I only wanted to see if there's any traces of Edward, then out of there. But I ended up discovering something shocking. Edward was there. Someone must have brought him back. Before I could get a grip of the situation, I heard footsteps. This could be my one chance of getting answers. So I hid in the corner and couldn't believe my eyes when I saw the person entering was...
Hi, I'm Eva. Can you guess how old I am? You probably picked 10, didn't you? Well, surprise! I'm actually 16. I've always been small. Like teeny tiny kind of small. Mom said that when she had me at 6 months, I was so tiny I fit perfectly into her palm. Because of my size, I was always the punchline at school. Careful, don't step on her. Oh wait, too late. But trust me, I knew how to give it back hot. Oops, didn't see you down here. I usually ignore things that crawl. Are you calling me an insect? Well, you said it, not me. Maybe we should squash you like one too. Oh, really? I immediately dropped into a crouch just like Wrestler and darted between her legs. Catch me if you can, giraffes! Then the girls tripped over each other and hit the floor. Nice! I usually manage myself fine at school, but at home, that's where things got complicated. You see, with my parents always away on business trips, my 2 older brothers, Jake and Don, took in charge to a whole new level. And by in charge, I mean smothering. You shouldn't carry heavy stuff. You'll blow away in a breeze. Did someone bully you? Just give me a name. I'll handle it. Put me down, caveman. Don't get me wrong. I knew they meant well, but sometimes their protection felt more like overprotection. It wasn't just at home. Even at school, I couldn't even eat in peace. What is that? Who made it? Did it pass FDA regulations? How do you know it's not poisoned? You haven't dropped dead yet. That's how. Say what? Ugh, it's just mac and cheese. I couldn't even do sports without a full-on sibling intervention. I'll be your leg. You're not straining an ankle on my watch. Oh, you can't run for me, Dawn. I'm not made of glass. When they started college, I thought I would finally catch a break from their fuss. But no,
Their drama was still in full force. One time, I actually went on a date, and my two brothers turned it into a live comedy show. Uninvited. Huh? They disguised themselves in some trench coats with fake mustaches and carried newspapers with eye holes to spy on us. Then they made a cutthroat gesture, and my date immediately started sweating. I was so mortified, I just banged my head onto the table. I didn't want to be babied. I wanted to be heard. And the one place I could do that was on stage. Acting gave me a lot of joy. I got to be someone else. A warrior, a genius, a queen. And when I graduated, I wanted to do it for real on the big screens. I gave you my heart once when I was blind and stupid. Not anymore, Chad. But even though I was crazy talented, I was always cast as a side character. Guess why? Because of this girl right here, Nina. Tall, pretty, shampoo commercial hair. And as if that wasn't enough, her rich parents practically owned the school thanks to their donations. Even though her acting skills were, how do I put this nicely? Not even there. So we were auditioning for Miranda in The Tempest. I put everything into it. Mr. Greenfield watched me with a smile, while Nina shot daggers at me with her eyes. Oh, I have suffered with those that I saw suffer. A brave vessel who had, no doubt, some noble creature in her, dashed all to pieces. Oh, the cry did knock against my very heart. The audience was clapping as I stepped down, but when it was Nina's turn, it was a train wreck. Her head was too fancy to recall lines. I have suffered with those I saw, suffocate? Sorry, I mean suffer. A brave vessel who had some noble crying. Creature. It's creature. Right, creature. Got it. The room erupted in laughter while Nina was fumbling, but she acted like she was slaying it. When it was time for our teacher, Mr. Greenfield, to declare who will play Miranda... So the role of Miranda goes to... Nina. I was hardly surprised, but it didn't mean I would keep quiet about it. Excuse me? She couldn't even read her lines.
Well, you see, Miranda is described as being a goddess of beauty by Ferdinand.
So it's about looks, not talent? Got it. I wanted to believe talent would win out, but over and over, Mr. Greenfield chose the face, not the voice. I spent the rest of that day on the rooftop to ease my hurt, but Nina couldn't resist the chance to come and rub it in with one of her friends, like teen movie villains with way too much screen time. Aw, don't take it personally, darling. Maybe try puppet theater, something your size fits into. Not the time, Nina. Here's the thing. In this industry, people like me get the leads. You? With your size, you're lucky if you're cast as the quirky maid. Or maybe a 40-year-old trapped in a 10-year-old body. Or better yet, an extra in a low-budget Hobbit reboot. Or a human foot mat. Exactly. Here's some free advice. Drop this acting fantasy. You're going nowhere fast. My eyes stung with angry tears. I knew she was lying. I'd seen actors go viral with way less than perfect height. Was Kevin Hart a joke to her? Height doesn't define talent. Talent defines talent. And I was going to prove it. To her, to Mr. Greenfield, and to the whole world. Just a few months to high school graduation, Mr. Greenfield made an announcement that changed everything. An announcement that could be my golden opportunity.
Big news, everyone. There's going to be a major inter-school drama competition coming up, which will be judged by real talent scouts.
This was it! My chance to finally perform in front of an actual audience. But I had to earn the lead role, which meant auditions. Again. That day, I gave it everything. All the raw emotion. My soul, my breath. Tears were brimming in my eyes. Mr. Greenfield seemed visibly moved. And when I walked off that stage, I knew I'd nailed it.
Lead role goes to... Nina.
Yes!
Eva will play the maid in the first scene.
I saw it coming, but this time I wasn't the only one. But Eva did it better. She deserves the lead. Whispers and murmurs rose. Every clubmate seemed to be waiting for my reaction, but I couldn't even put it into words. Later, I found out Nina's parents had made another huge donation to the school. Typical. When I told my brothers about it, they were so mad that they kept pacing back and forth.
We're going down there. That teacher's gonna hear from us. They think they can cheat our sister and get away with it? Ha! We'll teach that drama doll teacher a lesson.
No, you're not doing anything. I'll handle this. My way.
Your way? You mean bottling it all up and pretending you're fine? Why'd you always shut us out?
Because you two make it worse. You barge in like angry bulls and turn everything into chaos. Just because I'm small, it doesn't mean I'm helpless. Then there was a heavy silence. Don scoffed under his breath.
Fine. You want to do everything on your own? Be our guest.
It was the first time my brothers were so mad at me. Maybe I pushed too hard, but I had to. I needed them to see that I could stand on my own. Nina was determined to keep me hidden in the shadows, right? Fine. I was going to shine from that very shadow, brighter than she ever expected. Night and day, I worked on every detail of my role. I wrote down everything in my notebook and practiced it over and over again. Also, I added my own monologue. If they gave me crumbs, I'd turn it into a feast. On the night of the performance, I was more than ready, but before the curtain rose, Nina didn't miss her chance to throw her last remark. I see you have accepted your fate. As a supporting role? Yes. Have I ever told you that my parents are major contributors to the school? You might wonder why I always get the lead, even when you work harder, even when you perform better. So, you're admitting that I perform better. Doesn't change a thing. You don't have the money, you don't have the looks. You'll always be second best. Last best, even. With that, Nina walked onto the stage, and I followed her, quietly. We'll see about that. The theater was filled with people, and the spotlight shone on us. It was the first scene, the only one I appeared in. But I was determined to make it unforgettable. My princess! Why do you cry? What bothers you? Slave, have you seen my gold jewelry? You're the only one who enters this room. Have you taken it? No, my princess. I clean your chambers, but I would never steal from the hand that feeds me.
Liar! You little rat! Get out of my sight! Call the other... saliva? Slaves! Let them be questioned. I shall, deal with you all.
That was supposed to be the end of my role, but I had one more thing to say. The monologue I'd written in secret. I may be a slave, but I have dignity. Gasps rippled through the audience as I turned back to face Nina. I'm not dirty. I'm not a thief. What are you doing, little rat? This is not part of the script. And most of all, I'm not a little rat. You may wear a crown. You may rule today, but be careful how you treat others. The one who rules today might kneel tomorrow. Sooner or later, everyone will get their chance to shine. I spoke from my bones, and the room listened. I got a standing ovation. I left the stage with my head raised high and the pleasure of seeing Nina so shaken. As expected, Nina and Mr. Greenfield came for me as soon as the play was over. Show off? How dare you, Eva? You made a complete fool of me.
That was unprofessional. You went completely off script. You've ruined the integrity of the play.
Before I could respond, Jake and Dawn suddenly appeared, stepping between us with fire in their eyes.
So, this is the girl and the drama doll teacher who's been messing with her sister?
I couldn't help but facepalm. Hard.
Me? Drama doll? Eva's been stopping us from putting you in your place. But right now, I'm not so sure she could.
I grabbed my brothers by the shoulders before they could do anything stupid. I said, I've got this. I didn't fight for my voice to have someone else speak for me now. You said I broke the rules? Pretty sure it's also against the rules to give lead roles based on parent donations. And Nina added a few lines too. Calling me little rat on stage. Was that part of the script?
Who told you that?
Nina told me herself. Right before the play. Remember? As soon as I finished my sentence, Nina froze, her eyes flicking around nervously. Just as I was about to leave them stewing in their own handmade embarrassment, a man approached us. Mr. Greenfield had identified him earlier in the crowd as the scout that came to find acting talents. I felt chills all over my body when he came straight to me.
That last line of yours, where did that come from? Please, sir, ignore her. She added that part herself. It wasn't approved. Wait, she wrote it herself? That's brilliant. Have you ever thought of acting professionally? I'm a film director, and we're casting for a new project. I'd love for you to audition.
That night, the spotlight found me. Not because I was the tallest, not because I was the favorite, but because I earned it. Days after, I signed my first contract with a Scouts agency. I celebrated it with my brothers and my parents on FaceTime.
Eva, you're about to be a star now. You probably need some bodyguards to keep crazy fanboys and girls off you. And who better for the job than your overqualified, incredibly handsome big brothers, huh? Right, Mom and Dad?
Mom and Dad nodded and smiled enthusiastically on the screen. At that moment, I realized, no matter how strong I become, I'll always be their baby sister. And honestly, I wouldn't trade that for the world. Here's what I've learned. Yes, sometimes the odds are against us. Our looks, our background, our name. But if you work hard and stay true to yourself, you'll shine anyway, even from the shadows.
Good night. Parting is such sweet sorrow that I shall say good night till it be Rio de Janeiro. The whole audience burst into laughter. What did I just say? Panicked, I checked the script again. Huh? It did say Rio de Janeiro. Ugh, I know she's behind it. Lisa! She must have messed with my script. You're probs wondering why I didn't run down to the stands and give her a taste of my shoe? Well, it's complicated. You see, Lisa and I used to be best friends. When I was 7, my family moved to this town and Lisa was my neighbor. Back then, Lisa always seemed lonely, as she didn't have any siblings. Her mom was busy with work and her dad was away on business. So I often came over to hang out with her, and eventually we became the best of friends. We had so many things in common. Oh, and even her dad was a cop, just like my dad. Lisa never mentioned him, but I know she missed him. But then our 10 years of friendship was recently ruined, just because of some boy. You see, Lisa liked this guy called Brent at school. So being the great friend I am, I tried to help. But Lisa found out that he'd been messaging me and thought that I was flirting with him behind her back. I tried to explain many times, but she refused to listen. So now, I became her reluctant enemy. Her sneaky tricks became commonplace. And on this occasion, she won, as she got the role of Juliet, while I was just a boring maid. On the day of the play, after finishing the final rehearsal, Lisa suddenly walked up to me and smiled. Sorry about the audition. I've been thinking about it a lot and realized how childish I was. Then Lisa handed me a bottle of my favorite juice to make up. Okay, that's strange. Does she have 2 completely different personalities inside her or something? Or did she realize how great of a friend I am not to resent her petty tricks? Anyways, seeing as it was her birthday and all, I happily took the bottle of juice and wished her good luck. However, 15 minutes before the performance, I had the worst cramping pains in my stomach. I sprinted at rocket speed to the bathroom, and by the time I got out of there, the show was pretty much over. And guess what? I hadn't had anything that day, except for the juice Lisa gave me. Unbelievable! She did it to me again! I then rushed into the lounge of the drama club and rummaged through Lisa's bag. Bingo! Inside was a bottle of laxatives. She put it in my drink so I couldn't participate in the show. Ex-best friend or whatever, there's no way I'm gonna let her get away with it this time. Then suddenly, I found a vintage pocket watch sticking out from the innermost compartment of her bag. I held it in my hand and saw that the number 1999 was engraved on it. Why did it look so familiar? Don't touch my father's belongings! A voice sounded from behind me, and the next thing I knew, Lisa snatched the pocket watch from my hand. Why was she angry? I mean, I was the one who got done over, not her. And also, what did she mean by her father? I was still thinking about it when I arrived home, and suddenly saw someone sneaking around outside Lisa's house. Isn't that Dad? My dad looked around and then placed a beautifully wrapped gift in front of her door. It must be Lisa's birthday present, but why didn't he just hand it to her directly? When my dad came back inside, I quickly rushed over to him and asked, Hey Dad, do you remember the pocket watch that you love so much? I haven't seen it for a while. Where did you put it? Dad seemed to be flustered by my question. Then he muttered that he'd sold the watch to a pawn shop. I just nodded, but I knew he was lying, as he treasured that watch too much to ever sell it. Why did he give it to Lisa, then lie to me? Could it be that Lisa is my dad's illegitimate daughter? And the fact that my dad insisted on moving here, was it just so he could be close to his mistress and his child? Ugh! Lisa had stolen my role, and now she wanted to take my dad away from me too. I'd had enough. It's time for me to give her a taste of her own medicine. The next day at school, I made sure Lisa was watching as I flirted with Brent, then linked arms with him. She looked like she was going to explode with anger. Then I told everybody in class that Lisa's father wasn't away on business and that she only said this as he had another family and abandoned her when she was little. The rumors must have gotten back to Lisa, as the next thing I knew, she was confronting me as I walked out of the toilet cubicle. How dare you say that stuff about my dad? You're a horrible liar! Then we ended up in a nasty hair-tugging fight. It was so bad, a teacher had to come in and pull us apart. Then the principal called our parents. Luckily for us, my dad and Lisa's mom decided not to make this a big deal because of our close neighborly relations. Yeah, as if. However, my dad still made me apologize to Lisa and her mom. Ugh. Dad, why do I have to apologize? It's not like she apologized to me for putting laxatives in my drink. You were wrong to spread those untrue rumors about her. But what were the laxatives about? I thought you two were friends. Since when did you guys become this resentful towards each other? I wasn't lying. They're the truth. Are you defending Lisa over me just because you feel guilty that she's your secret daughter? Kirsty, what did you say? I explained how I knew about the watch and therefore I'd figured out his secret. He was silent for a long time, then sighed and said, Actually, Lisa's dad was a colleague of mine. He was a good man who worked hard at his job. We had this difficult case involving a notorious criminal gang and, unfortunately, her dad passed away while on duty. In his last moments, he gave me his pocket watch as a memento and asked me to look after his 4-year-old daughter, Lisa. Her mom and I couldn't break the heart of that little girl, so we said her father was away from home on business and would return when she'd be 18 years old. As for me, I would pretend to be her father to occasionally send gifts and letters to her. When you and Lisa were 7, I decided to move here in order to easily take care of her. And as you know, I gave her that pocket watch, her father's last memento. But why did you lie to her like that? Lisa was too young at that time to accept such an ugly truth. Her mom and I didn't have much choice either. I was expecting her to get used to it and stop waiting for her dad, but it's true that we didn't expect things to be like this. On her last birthday, I continued to play the role of her father and left a present at the door with an apology for not being able to come home due to a busy schedule. But we know we can't keep this from her anymore. It's heartbreaking to see her longing for her dad so persistently. So, it turned out that all my speculations were wrong. Not only that, but I also spread false rumors and hurt my friend. Oh God, what had I done? How could I put this right? That night, I sent Lisa a long text apologizing, but she didn't reply. So the next morning, I waited at her door to go to school together, but she just walked straight past me. Looking at her distraught face, my heart filled with remorse. I just entered the school gate when someone tapped me on the shoulder. Want to go see a play with me tonight? Brent held out 2 theater tickets. Oh, it was for the curious incident of the dog in the nighttime. I was desperate to see that. Back when Lisa and I were still friends, we talked about going to see it. Wait, Lisa? That's right! So, I lied to Brent that I was busy and told him to ask Lisa to go with him instead. Lisa looked so thrilled that Brent had asked her out. Now my conscience was clear. Lisa and Brent would realize they liked each other and finally get together properly. Then she'd forgive me, right? Anyway, I did have an essay coming up, so I went to a quiet coffee shop and studied there till late. But when I got home, I walked through the door to smashed up ornaments and the sound of my parents arguing. So you've been lying to me and Kirsty for all these years? How could you have a secret child the same age as your daughter? Aren't you ashamed of yourself? What's going on? Did she know about Lisa? I quickly ran to stop her. Mom, it's not what you think. I thought so too at first. But you have to listen to Dad. Those lies may fool you, but they can't fool me. Lisa is his illegitimate daughter. That poor girl came here and told me. I tried reasoning with Mom, but she was too upset to listen. With a slam of the door, she left. Dad plopped down on the couch and gave a solemn sigh. I sat next to him, comforting him that maybe it was Lisa's misunderstanding. Dad, we have to tell Lisa the truth. I'll approach her first to test the water, and then when she seems to be emotionally stable, you will come and talk to her, okay? The next day, as soon as I arrived at school, I immediately went to look for Lisa. There she was, standing by her locker with her arms folded. I walked over to her, but before I could say anything, she shouted, "Stop acting as if you're that noble! I know Brent only invited me to the theater because you told him to. Why do you wish to embarrass me so much?" Then Lisa burst into tears. "If my dad was still alive, he would protect me from mean girls like you." I gaped at Lisa. She already knew everything? But if so, why did she tell my mom the day before that my dad was also her dad? I stood there, refused to move until she told me the truth. Eventually, she blurted out that on her 18th birthday, she saw my dad leaving a gift in front of her house. Suspecting something was up, she mustered up the courage to ask her mom everything. It devastated her to learn that her long-awaited dad was just totally a made-up lie by my dad. She was full of rage towards my dad and me, so she lied to my mom so we'd know what it felt like to have a broken family. I was furious. How dare she do this to my family? But as she sobbed out an apology, my anger faded right away, and I only felt so sorry for her instead. What she had gone through was really unbearable. I hugged her tightly and the pair of us cried our eyes out. When we both calmed down, we decided to have a frank talk with our families. I told Lisa I didn't mind sharing my dad with her, as he loves her like his own daughter anyway. But in return, Lisa needed to apologize to my mom and explain everything to her so she'd come back home. So finally, my mom has returned, and our two families are at peace again. I'm so sorry. I was out of my mind. I didn't mean to hurt you, Mom. Mrs. Lamont. Everyone burst out laughing. I also took the opportunity to give Lisa's mom a big hug and called her my mom, just like Lisa did. We were all chatting away happily when the doorbell rang. Lisa and I both went to open the door and saw Brent standing there holding a bouquet of flowers. He had this bewildered look on upon seeing us both here. But you know what? It doesn't matter which one of us he was looking for. There's no need for a boyfriend right now, because I already have my best friend right here. Or should I say, my sister?
Mom, come here and see what Agnes has done to my dress. Oh no, what now? Look at this, Mom. It's crumpled. This is all your fault. I told you that this requires hand washing. That means by hand. Oh, don't cry, honey. I'll buy you a new one. You can give that one to Agnes. It's yours now. New dress. Happy, huh? Can we go right now, Mom? Then let's have pizza after that. I'm so tired of Agnes's pretentious fine dining dishes. Of course, honey. Yeah, I know. That sure looked like a scene from Cinderella, right? Only stuff like that was a daily occurrence in this house. If I was adopted, then it'd be easier to understand why Mom favored my sister over me, but nope, I am also her actual daughter. Growing up with Jenna as my big sister was a nightmare. She's always been the golden child, while I was treated like a thorn in their side. If something broke, then I got the blame. When Jenna stole my things, then Mom just said I should be flattered. Then there were the birthday parties. Over the years, Jenna had it all. Fairy-themed ones, magicians, a petting zoo, and cupcake towers. As for me, all I ever got was a card with a wrinkled $20 note in it. It was the same thing with studying. If she broke her string of D's with a C, Mom rewarded her with jewelry and makeup. Me? Just one C out of usual straight A's, and Mom'd say, "Oh, why did I even get my hopes up?" Sometimes I do wonder if all this shabbiness is because Jenna's always been pretty and popular. She's basically a mini-me version of Mom. While I guess I'm more reserved, and I don't really look like Mom. Anyways, despite living in a house full of darkness and unfairness, I still have my own passion, which is culinary. To be honest, I'm addicted to those TV cooking shows and always try to find ways to follow them. My dream is to become a head chef in a 5-star restaurant. At school, Jenna always blanks me. She hangs out with this group of girls who are all obsessed with the same things she is, such as makeup, trendy clothes, and TikTok. Jenna does look gorgeous, so it's not surprising that boys usually buzz around her in the hope of catching her attention. Anyway, forget Jenna, as I have my best friend Ruth right here. Girl, I swear to God, if I were you, I'd tear up some of her clothes just for my own relief. Nice idea, I said while playing with my tray of food as usual. It looks so good. Very appetizing. Startled, I looked up to find a pair of dazzling eyes staring back at me. Hi, I'm Roy. That's very neat-handed of you. Before I could say anything, he winked and turned away to his table. That was close, or else he would have seen my tomato-red face. Looks like someone's on the hot guy's radar. Shut up. He was just being friendly. But no, that night when I got home, Roy in fact did message me. And we had a really long chat. He even asked me to join him for lunch the next day. Yay! This was so exciting. I'd entered the canteen to find Roy was already sitting there waiting for me. But I quickly spotted Jenna's group passing by, and the last thing I need is trouble from my evil sister. So I was actually thinking of walking away. But right at that moment, Roy grinned and waved over at me. OMG, that hot boy over there is waving at you, Jen. A girl flattered Jenna before I could even answer Roy. Jenna quickly fixed her hair, then smiled awkwardly at him. But he walked straight past her and over to me. Here, for you. What kind of first-class dishes do we have today? I smiled at Roy and had no choice but to sit down with him, ignoring Jenna's furious glare. Despite the awkward Jenna situation, lunch with Roy was amazing. We started hanging out loads more after that. He's cute, funny, and very supportive towards my culinary dreams. Then one day, Roy handed me a cupcake with a frosted heart on it and asked me to be his girlfriend. Yippee! This was so exciting! So, of course I agreed, but only on the condition that we kept our relationship low-key. I'd never had anything of my own before, so if my mom and sister didn't know about us, then they couldn't tarnish it, right? Falling in love is a magical thing. I was just so happy and full of life all of the time. Even doing chores for Mom and Jenna didn't dampen my mood. I thought you were only into cooking. So what, you like laundry now? Pfft, don't tell me you want to be a fashion designer next. I ignored her and carried on with what I was doing. Actually, I ignored all of Mom and Jenna's mocking jibes. The truth was, I was way too happy to let them bother me anymore. Soon, Jenna's 17th birthday party arrived, and this time she insisted on having it at this trendy restaurant in town. All of our relatives and her friends were invited, but I decided not to go. It's not like anyone wanted me there anyway, so I didn't think it'd matter. But to my surprise, on the day of the party, Jenna knocked on my bedroom door and begged me to come. Please, Agnes, I want you there on my special day. It won't be the same without you. Then she passed me a bag and left. I opened it, and inside was the most beautiful dress. Okay, so Jenna being nice was strange, but I must admit it felt good to feel wanted for once. So it looks like I was going to the ball. Wow, the party was insane. I'm talking banners, balloons, a whole booth devoted to presents, a menu only serving Jenna's favorite foods. I was sipping my drink, feeling awkward, when Jenna addressed the room. Hey, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to my 17th birthday party. Now, there's a very special guest here that I'd like to introduce to you all. It's my new boyfriend, Roy. I watched with horror as Roy appeared out of the crowd and let Jenna link arms with him. Huh? What? Why was my boyfriend with my sister? I glared straight at him, but he couldn't meet my gaze. This was terrible. I felt like I couldn't breathe. Panicked, I rushed outside to get some air. Everything of yours will soon be mine, no matter how well you hide it. I turned to see that Jenna was standing there, a huge smirk on her face. How could she be this shameless? I shoved past her and went to find Mom. She was shouting at the waiter to bring out more drinks. I went up to her and spluttered out what Jenna had done and how upset I was. Jeez, stop making such a fuss about it. Jenna's your sister, so just be happy for her. Besides, Roy is far more suited to her than you. Oh, that's it. I can't stand this selfish family anymore. I'm leaving. Yeah, go. Disappear just like your no-good father did. That night I showed up at Ruth's house with a bag of my stuff and a teary face. But I knew this could only be temporary, so I still looked around for somewhere else to stay. And eventually I applied for a job as a grocery cashier at a 24/7 gas station. Well, at least I had shelter. One night, a drunk man walked in. He didn't look so good. Nothing could lighten a person's mood better than great food, right? The store was quiet, so I took some of the ingredients available and used them to prepare a delicious-looking dish for him. Thank you so much, sweetie. I'm Keith. You have a culinary talent. If you want a better opportunity, come find me. Before I could thank him, he left. Let's see. Bar owner? I wasn't old enough to work in a bar, though. I spent the next month juggling school with work, life, and oh boy, was it exhausting. But when I asked for my salary, my boss laughed in my face, saying that since I was only 16, he could only pay me for far less hours than I'd worked? What? That wasn't fair. I worked my butt off on sometimes 12-hour-long shifts. But when I complained, he threatened to report me for stealing food from the store. Ugh, I'd only taken expired food that couldn't be sold anyway. Feeling bummed out, I just quit, and then left. I wandered around the street for a while, then looked up and found myself standing in front of that man's bar. Well, I had nowhere else to go, so I stepped inside and there was Keith, but, he looked so different. Other than this bar, I also own a fine dining restaurant uptown. If you want, I'd love to train you to become a chef there. Whoa, this was so amazing that I cried with joy. In order to be able to stay overnight at the restaurant, I told him that my parents had passed away and I'd run away from the orphanage. And the man agreed without questioning me twice. Time passed by, and you know what? I loved working at the restaurant. As for Keith, he's such a kind-hearted man. We grew so close, and he became like a father to me. I guess we were two lonely people who helped each other. So it made sense when he asked to adopt me. Then one busy evening, I was taking food to a table, but then I stopped dead. Sitting there were Jenna and Roy. On seeing me, Jenna sneered out, "Oh, you work here? Now that explains why my appetizers were gross." Roy looked embarrassed and begged her to be quiet, which only made her worse. Then seeing what was going on, Alistair, the restaurant supervisor, came to my defense, but it only made Jenna even more heated. "Isn't the customer always king? Why are you defending that dumb girl?" "Miss, this is a fine dining restaurant. Please mind your manners. Agnes here is not only a very talented chef, but she's the owner's daughter, which makes her my boss. So I think I'm within my rights to defend my superiors." Jenna rolled her eyes at me, then walked away in anger, not forgetting to reply, "Just you wait, Agnes." Then, seeing my glum face, Alistair invited me out for ice cream after work. Keith happily told us to go and said he'd close the restaurant. As I was licking my ice cream, I noticed people around us shout, "Fire! Fire!" So I pulled Alistair's hand and ran after them. As the flames came into view, my heart sank when I realized they were coming from... It was the restaurant. Oh no, Keith was still in there. Without giving it a second thought, I charged in there to find him. It was so smoky and impossible to see, but I couldn't give up. Suddenly, I started to go dizzy and lightheaded. Then an arm grabbed me and pulled me out. It was Alistair, and standing next to him was... Keith. Phew. A few days later, the police called Keith. They'd found the culprit who started the fire. As soon as I walked into the police station, I couldn't believe my eyes. It was Jenna. But most surprisingly, when Keith saw my mom, they both turned pale and gave astonished looks. Huh? Did they know each other? So yeah, turns out Keith's mine and Jenna's actual father. When Dad was young, he hadn't built his career, but just spent all day in the kitchen. So he was always despised and scolded by my mom. In the end, he couldn't take her belittling of him anymore, so he left. Only unbeknown to him, Mom was pregnant with me at the time. So the story she said about Dad running off with his mistress was all lies. I got it now. She despised me because I took after my dad, not her. As soon as Jenna realized he was our dad and he was rich, she put on her Little Miss Sweet act and begged for him to be her dad again. But he just gave her a stern look and said, "That fire of yours could have killed us all. Now you have to live with that." Then he took my arm and led me out of there. I always believed my life would one day be better, but I never imagined it'd be as good as this. I now have an amazing dad, a job I'm passionate about, and people who generally care about me by my side. It just goes to show that everything works out perfectly in the end.
Why is there a hole here? Could it be that the ants did it? What if they're secretly planning an attack on human beings? What will happen to the Big Mac?
Elaine, does staring at the hole help you figure out the sphere volume?
What class is it?
Have you been paying attention at all?
Have you? 'Cause if you have, you would have known the answer yourself.
Excuse me?
Oh, wait. Nah, I still don't know. Sorry, what were you saying?
This is going to be in the test. You need to focus if you...
Oh, this is Japanese class. Duh.
That's it. We're going to the principal's office.
And that's the huge of my high school life. Hi, my name's Elaine, and I've been living with ADHD since, I don't know. But of course, ADHD manifests itself differently among different people. For me, I just gotta make sure I take my medication. Wait, where's my birth certificate? Anyway, make sure to like and subscribe before I continue. Right after the principal's office visit, I was walking down the hallway when a hunky guy purposely bumped into me, knocking my bag over.
Dude, is that a dinosaur? Are you a kindergartner?
Hey, that's my fidget toy. Give it back.
Whoops, finders keepers.
Who dares mess with my friend?
It's Quinn, the Furious Queen. Run!
The two guys immediately ran for their lives. Right then, Skylar and her new boyfriend also headed over.
Isn't she the weirdo from the math class? Don't tell me you're friends with her.
Yes, I am indeed.
You can only choose one, her or me.
How about I dump you instead? Get lost. And these are my girls. We've been best friends since forever and always got each other's backs. I forget my stuff a lot, and Quinn always makes sure I got everything with me before leaving any place, while Skylar has me covered every time I dozed off in class. You know, I can't sleep at night because I'm busy thinking about the ants' Earth destruction plan. Maybe they're the ones who terminated the giant dinosaurs. Wait, where was I? I don't know. Rewind the video yourself. Valentine's Day soon arrived. Even though Skylar just broke up with her boyfriend, she already had loads of presents from other guys. And so did Quinn. My girls are hot. What about you, Elaine? Nothing this year yet? Nah, I don't care. You guys are all I need. How about you make a move? Any guy you've laid your eyes on? Talk about making a move. When are you gonna tell Cromer you've got the biggest crush on him?
That's right. Give it a try today, Quinn.
I don't care. I can get any guy if I want to. Right, suit yourself, girl. That afternoon, we were walking when we heard an announcement from the school's radio station.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Malcolm from iHeartRadio. Today, we got a special request from someone anonymous delivered to Elaine Miller. Love the way you stared at the hole on the desk that day in math class. It was so cute. I wish I could be that hole instead.
Happy Valentine's Day. Someone's got a crush on you, Elaine. You've got a secret admirer. See, someone likes you for who you are. Always stay true to yourself. I wonder who this is. OMG, I gotta find out. But didn't you say you don't care? That's right. But now the game has changed. Who could it be? They mentioned math class, so they must attend the same class as we do. That's it. All we need is the attendance list from Mr. Wilson's office. But we can't go in there. Ever heard of Mission Impossible? Girls, it's showtime. After class, we waited for Mr. Wilson to leave his office. Then, just like totally spies, we crawled onto the floor, successfully avoided the security guard's gawking eyes, and managed to hide from one of the teachers passing by. Then continued secretly advancing toward Mr. Wilson's office. Oh, look! They got flaming hot Cheetos now! Elaine! After we got the list, I immediately texted a bunch of people to test it out and anxiously waited. But some people replied calling me crazy. Others reported me to Instagram. I even got a visit from the police because they thought I was some creep sliding into people's DMs. Once they left, I immediately FaceTimed the girls. From the list, there's still Malcolm you haven't texted. Isn't he working at the radio station with you, Skylar? Yeah, we are working together, but it can't be him. He never asked me about Elaine before. Who knows? You weren't working at the radio station today, were you? My money's on him, Elaine. What should I do? I can't send messages on Instagram anymore. How about writing to him? You know, the old-fashioned way. So I prepared a love letter for Malcolm and even designed a cute envelope for it. But then I got too invested in designing the envelope, I forgot all about the letter. When I finally remembered the letter, I walked all the way back for it. But of course, my ADHD brain had to mess it up again. Not until the day when Quinn and Skylar came over and I couldn't find my doctor's envelope anywhere did I realize I'd sent Malcolm my ADHD prescription instead of the letter. We immediately flew to Malcolm's house just as the mailman dropped off the prescription envelope out front. Seeing Malcolm walking out, I frantically ran to the other side of the street and started doing the craziest dance to get Malcolm's attention. Suddenly, I tripped and fell flat on my face. Malcolm rushed to help me up and got me inside his house. We chatted a bit as Malcolm worked on my arm. Elaine, right? We share a few classes together. We do? Yeah, you always sit near Quinn and Skylar, right? I saw you snoozing in class sometimes. I guess so. Look, Malcolm, did you give me the message on the radio? Ah, the confession. Well, it's not me. I'm not your secret admirer, but that doesn't mean I don't have a chance, do I? Skylar talks a lot about you, and I've always wanted to talk to you in person. Speaking of Skylar, it's our girls' night tonight. Bye! And thank you. I finally managed to calm my hyperactive heart down when I got back to my room. Is Malcolm the secret admirer? He's not. How embarrassing. See? Told you. We're pretty close. He would have told me already. But he seems to like me. Really? I mean, I saw the way he helped you up when you fell. It can't be. Let's focus on finding your real secret admirer. But that doesn't mean I can't hang out with Malcolm while finding my secret admirer. Turned out we both shared a passion for hip-hop. He can make super catchy beats for me to rap. Just kidding. Animated Story Show wouldn't let me. Comment down below if you want a separate video of me rapping. Since then, we started hanging out more often. Malcolm is such a caring and patient person. Sometimes my ADHD kicked in and I cut him off while he was speaking, but he never got mad and just patiently waited for me to finish. Another time when I was blabbing nonstop about whatever was in my mind, I saw him counting. What are you counting for? How many times you switch topics within 2 minutes? Oh, sorry. No need to. I find it cute, actually. Later on, as we parted ways, I saw Skylar waiting for me, looking a little sad. Hey, what's wrong? I'm gonna be honest with you, because we promised each other. I've actually had a crush on Malcolm ever since we started working together at the radio station. What about your recent boyfriend? Oh, it was just a fling. I just can't stand seeing you with Malcolm. Anyway, don't take it personally. Sorry, I gotta go. Skylar had a crush on Malcolm? But I do enjoy being with him. No, sisters first. But it wasn't easy, as Malcolm would always try to approach me. It hurt having to stay away from him. Every time he got close, my heart would beat like crazy. But I also don't want to upset Skylar, as she started distancing herself from me and Quinn. I actually quite like Malcolm. This is so complicated. I honestly don't know what to tell you. How about you try finding your secret admirer? For real this time. He might be a better suit than Malcolm. The next morning, I found a note in my locker. From your secret admirer. They want to meet me near the fountain. But when I got there, I saw another note asking me to come to the bleacher. This better not be some silly prank. When I arrived, I was shocked to see Cromer sitting there by himself. He can't be behind the notes, right? Guess I'll find out now. Just a little closer. Closer. Suddenly he looked up and stared straight into the camera. I was about to run when he caught me. Hey, Elaine Miller, right? You could have asked me for a picture. Didn't know you have a thing for me. No, it was an accident. Since then, I made sure to be more discreet to see if Cromer was the secret admirer. But man, it's like this guy got the sixth sense or something. Hey, what's wrong? You look nervous. It's because she likes me. She even tried to take pictures of me, right, Elaine? It's okay. I noticed you watching me recently. Come on, just admit it. I know I'm irresistible. Why are you doing this? You know I like him. No, let me explain. You know, I even thought it was a misunderstanding between you and Skylar. But you know what? Now it seems like you just want to steal from us. Hey guys, chill out. What's going on? You chill out.
Do you even know Elaine said she liked Malcolm too? And now she's also taking Cromer. My Cromer! Hey, about Cromer, it's not what you think. And Malcolm, it's not like you and him are a thing. I have as much of an equal chance as you do, don't you think? Then why were you following him just then? And you even took pictures of him? And we're talking about our chance with Malcolm now? You know it's unfair to me. Unfair? We're always trying to make sure to put you first, but now you think you're the victim? I can't do this anymore. I hope you're happy you got both guys now, best friend. That was too much. They acted as if they took pity on me. I don't need anyone to look after me. I'm all fine by myself. Since we fell out, we're all caught up with our own things. Whenever I passed by Skylar, she just gave me a cold look. Quinn also seemed to have found new joys. I managed to get by just fine, but it felt like something was missing. One time, I was walking when I spotted Skylar and Malcolm surrounded by a crowd. Turned out, Skylar confessed having a crush on Malcolm and asked him out, but he rejected her. The crowd couldn't miss the chance to mock her. Suddenly, I remembered how Skylar used to stand up for me, and I felt so bad for her. So I decided to defend her this time, but she just ran out of there. I tried to catch up with her, but Skylar wouldn't listen. Suddenly, she crossed the street without looking, and a car came crashing into her. I frantically ran to check on her, and we immediately got her to the ER. Thank God she was fine. Just a couple bruises and scratches, but she refused to let me in. That night, I tried to call Quinn, but it kept sending me to voicemail. But I've made up my mind. I kept ringing her bell and insisted on waiting till she showed up. She finally gave in. Hey, I'm sorry for— Oh, you're sorry for me? No need to take pity on me. Just enjoy your happiness. Malcolm rejected me because he chose you. Happy much? Now just leave me alone, you ruthless, self-centered. Then she slammed the door shut in front of me, leaving me all stunned there. Ha! What a show. This should totally be on Netflix. Cromer? Why are you here? I live right next door, so I see Skylar doesn't want to see you. But I do. Get off of me! I never liked you! Are you playing hard to get now, pretty little thing? Right then, Malcolm appeared out of nowhere and bolted to punch Cromer in the face. Didn't you hear what she said? Leave her alone. Can't believe Quinn and I are arguing because of you, creep. If only Quinn knew who her crush truly was. Quinn likes me? Huh, could have told me earlier. What else is he up to? Anyway, thank you. Why are you here? I heard Skylar got into an accident right after the, incident, so I wanted to pay her a visit. Now that you're here, I just want to let you know, actually, the one sending you the confession on the radio that day was Skylar. What? She just wanted you to feel loved and not left alone on Valentine's Day. I was going to give it some time before telling you, but things got complicated all too quickly. Anyway, now that you don't have to find out who your secret admirer is anymore, would you want to go out with me? As a girlfriend, I mean. Malcolm, I do like you a lot, but I just can't bring myself to hurting Skylar ever again. I'm sorry. It's okay. I understand. Guess I'll see Skylar another time then. I'm so sorry, Malcolm. Later, I arrived home to Mom packing some boxes. Can you check if you still need these from the attic? Otherwise, they have to go. I opened up the boxes to find old pictures of me, Skylar, and Quinn inside, and I immediately burst into tears. We looked so happy together, like nothing could split us apart. That's right. We're sisters. I gotta make things right. The next day, after the first period, I came looking for Skylar. Gosh, I'm so anxious. Where's my fidget toy? What if Skylar's still mad at me? Looking for this? Yes! Skylar, I need to talk— Me too. I'm sorry, Elaine. I was so hurt and embarrassed yesterday that I said nasty things to you. And you were right. I should have told you earlier I have a crush on Malcolm. But after everything, I realized how stupid I was, and I don't want to lose you or lose us. Hey, me too. I couldn't sleep yesterday after hearing about everything from Skylar. I haven't been myself without you guys. Oh, me neither. You guys mean the world to me. It turned out Skylar also gave me the locker notes that day. She said she wanted me to give up on finding the secret admirer, and Cromer just happened to be there. After that, I also told Quinn and Skylar about the fight between Cromer and Malcolm that night when Cromer himself showed up. Hey, Quinn. I just realized I've always liked you. I'm sorry your friend Elaine liked me, but you are my perfect match. Be my girlfriend, will you? Skylar and I immediately gave each other a worried look when, Cromer, you know what Lady Gaga would say? Caught in a bad romance? I know I'm too handsome. You can't resist. She'd say, women stick together, you jerk. Cromer immediately ran away in embarrassment. What a loser. Oh, by the way, Malcolm left to study abroad today and he sent his goodbye to you. I feel so bad about you and Malcolm. It's okay. Right person, wrong time. From then on, us three were always by each other's side and graduated together. We even went to the same college now and made sure we go to every party together. One night at a music festival, I was waiting for Skylar and Quinn to get back from the restroom when they started playing Kendrick Lamar. Hip-hop would always remind me of someone now. Suddenly, a handkerchief was handed to me. I saw you from afar. Is this the right time to get your number now?
It's not here. Not there either. Where can it be? It's not just any shirt. It's my most prized possession. It has Kendall Jenner, my idol's autograph on it. Franny, your t-shirt was dirty, so I cleaned it for you. Come have a look. Oh, snap. I rushed over to see my precious shirt neatly piled on top of the fresh laundry. No. The autograph's completely gone. Grandma! That's right, the person responsible for this unwanted blank shirt is my grandma, who just moved in with us after Granddad passed away. At first, it seemed exciting because my memories about Grandma were all from my happy childhood with her. But now I'm taking it back. She's a literal disaster. You know what? She is getting on in years, but still wants to learn to use social media. My mom even bought her a brand new iPhone 14. Meanwhile, her dear daughter was stuck with this lame iPhone 8. Honestly, all she needed was just one of those brick phones that can only take calls. With her forgetfulness, she'll forget all her passwords. So it's best to just log in with my iCloud. After all, this phone will become mine anyway. Oh, that's quite a handsome young man. You think so too? Indeed, Josh's attractiveness is second to none. He's every girl's dream man. And yours as well, right? As if I stood a chance. He's notoriously cold, and none of the girls from school seem to interest him. Well, that probably was the only time we shared the same thought. Otherwise, we're always arguing about all kinds of things, especially the way I dress. She didn't even bother asking me before sewing up all my favorite ripped jeans and then left a dress that she made on my bed with a note. This adorable dress will suit you much better. I used to love her handmade dresses when I was 5, but who even wears anything like this these days? That's not all. She nagged me all the time for straightening my hair instead of keeping it naturally frizzy, since it's supposedly cuter. And guess what? It's actually her who I'd inherited my natural hair from. Bet she didn't know it was the reason I had to grow up with my classmates saying stuff like, "You're actually quite pretty, but it's a shame about the hair." And, "How come you don't have straight hair like your parents? Are you adopted?" Those hurtful words made me hate my hair with a passion and wish for beautiful, smooth, straight hair, like Kendall Jenner's. So of course, I'll keep straightening it every day, no matter what Grandma says. Thankfully, those complaints will finally come to an end tomorrow as I'm going back to school after summer break. Yay! Huh? What's everyone buzzing about? At that moment, the teacher walked in and announced that our class will have a very special new student. And then a very familiar figure entered my class. It was my grandma? What on earth? Did she get lost on her way to bingo or what? How humiliating. Maybe if I stayed deadly still, she wouldn't spot me, and no one would know it was my granny. Oh, my sweetie pie, you forgot your orange juice. All eyes were on me. Good grief. Someone help me disappear from this planet, please. After class, I had to sneak out as fast as I could to avoid having lunch with my grandma. But my best friend Lloyd wouldn't quit teasing me. Suddenly, I heard someone laughing loudly across the room. Grandma? But who is she sitting with? Wow, Jose has quite a peculiar taste in women. He ignores every single girl in this school, but is now completely smitten over your granny. Jeez, why is she bothering him? Jose must have felt uncomfortable. I quickly went over there, apologized, and pulled my grandma away. On the way home from school, my grandma recounted her day just like a little kid would. Do you know that they have vending machines in the hallway with all kinds of snacks? That's genius! And oh my, the campus is big. I almost wet myself while searching for the restroom. Tell me which part of this is funny again? It only proves that someone her age belongs in a nursing home, not a high school. I needed to talk to Mom, so when she was finally alone in the kitchen, I immediately asked her, how exactly did Grandma end up in my class? It turned out that when my parents invited Grandma to live with us, she told them she would, but only if she could go to school. I think it's a lovely idea. It means she won't be lonely at home all day, as you'll keep her company. Besides, she spent her whole life taking care of our family, so it's our turn to look after her, right? Yeah, I suppose Mom raised some valid points, but who knew that Grandma could turn my school life upside down like this? She clung to me all day, ate whatever I ate, listened to the music I listened to, and even hung out with my friends. Worse still, she told them all embarrassing childhood stories about me. How I used to eat toothpaste because the ad said it was edible, and how I incubated eggs myself to see if I could hatch a chick. But that's not the worst part. She broke my hair straightener, so now I'm stuck wearing this stupid hat. How annoying. Hey, breaking news! What is it this time? Jose has found the girl of his dreams, and she's here at our school! No way! No girls have caught his eye before. Why now? Franny! What on earth? I looked down and, oops, I just accidentally turned him into Sully from Monsters, Inc. Sorry, my bad. Okay, let me see. As Lloyd told me, this was the girl Jose got to know through Tinder before she mysteriously vanished. Moore, 17 years old, goes to my school and... Wait, she only has this picture? All I could see was her frizzy brown hair. Out of nowhere, someone snatched my hat. That must be Lloyd trying to get back at me for the paint job earlier. I tried to grumble at him, but only saw Grandma with my hat in her hand. Franny, your hair is so beautiful. Why cover it up? And also, these clothes. The dress I made for you goes far better with your hair. Enough. There's no way I'd let anyone see me with this hideous hair and granny outfit. Please, Grandma, leave me alone and don't cause me any more trouble. This is my school, and having you around is embarrassing. She looked shocked and was about to say something, but just left without another word. So, it's been a week since we last talked. It seemed that I was no longer her concern as she made new friends. So it's good for both of us, right? Suddenly, I heard a deep voice behind me. Hi, Franny. Can I talk to you about something? Wait, this voice? I immediately turned around to see Joe standing there, smiling at me. Oh my, this is the first time Joe's ever asked to speak to a girl. All the envious eyes are on me. I'm the luckiest girl here. Has he finally seen my unique charm? The thing is, I happened to see your curly hair the other day, and you look quite like the girl in the picture. I wonder if you are... Oh, he didn't come here because of me. Sorry, but I'm not Moore. I could see the disappointment on his face. He apologized for getting the wrong person, but before leaving, he smiled and told me, By the way, you're pretty with that curly hair. Really? That frizzy hair that I've gone out of my way to hide? Can't believe someone out there, besides Granny, actually likes it. A few days later, I arrived at school to a frightening scene. Jose was hand in hand with Amy. Turns out she had come forwards as the mysterious girl. Let's see, 17? Check. Curly brown hair? Check. And her last name is Moore. There's no mistaking it. But I kept wondering, what is Jose like about this notorious wild girl? Her clique, which now included my dear Granny, are always playing dumb tricks for attention. Look, she's no different from a traffic light now that she's friends with them. Once, their group even turned the library into a runway. Obviously, this quickly reached the supervisor, but, well, only my grandma was slow enough to get caught. Thanks to that, she received a ticket to the principal's office and they called in my mom. Don't you find it ridiculous that a person this age is still getting scolded by the principal? School is not the place for grandma at all. Performing art requires a bold personality, girl. I might be old, but my spirit remains youthful. You know what? I'm going to participate in the Rise to Fame contest as well. I think I may just win. I turned to my mother with begging eyes, but only received a forced smile and a, just let her do what she wants. You'll lose anyway. Why bother? How about you sign up too, and we'll see who wins? Ha! Fine. Challenge accepted. I'll defeat you easily, Granny. Just wait and see. Finally, Rise to Fame, my school's annual competition, arrived. Each team of 3 will participate in different rounds, with the 2 best teams going to the final. First round, handball was a piece of cake for us. Having 2 sporty types on the team helped with that. As for Granny's team, which consisted of herself, Jose, and Dolly Amy, they were eliminated almost immediately. After sports was a Sudoku round. Each team will compete against one another. Whoever solves the puzzle first wins, which should be a breeze because I used to spend rain-filled afternoons playing this game with Granny as a kid. On the other hand, Amy was complaining to the organizing committee that this round was a joke, since Sudoku was so outdated. The more she talked, the more it showed that she's terrible at math and numbers. So it'll be like taking candy from a baby, right? But I forgot Granny was on their team, and unexpectedly, Jose was also very quick-witted. It didn't take them long to solve such a difficult puzzle. Seeing them hugging and celebrating pissed me off. Losing to them by a mere second was the real stinger. Focus, Franny. We had to beat them in the countries and histories round to win. Just a few more minutes till the final round. I was about to leave the waiting room when suddenly I heard a ding coming from this phone left on the chair. It's Grandma's phone. But wait, she knows how to use Tinder? Curious, I opened it and on the screen were all the messages from Jose and the mysterious Moore. Why does Grandma have this account? And why is Jose convinced Amy isn't who he's looking for? I immediately went to look for my grandma and found her in the corner of the stage wing. But as I approached her, she pulled my hand in and signaled for me to keep silent. I thought you let that annoying old hag join the team as a joke. Who knew she'd be so helpful? You'll win easily. Yeah, right? I even heard that history is her strength. I just need her to finish this last round, then I'll kick her out in a heartbeat. The whole group burst out laughing. I nervously turned to look at Granny, but she didn't show any sign of anger. So what will my grandma do next, you ask? As soon as the final round began, she stood up, took the mic, and announced, I want to withdraw from the competition because I will never let 2-faced people get the better of me. After that, she left, and the whole audience started to make a fuss, while Amy's face turned pale. However, the real shocker was when Jose also came on stage.
Me too. I don't want to be in a team with a liar.
Then he walked away as Amy chased after him. The audience buzzed, and the organizers announced that this meant our team had automatically won the competition. I rushed home right after the awards ceremony to find Grandma ruminating in the garden. I quietly sat down next to her and put my hand on her shoulder to console her. She looked at me, gently smiled, and started telling me stories I'd never heard before. I discovered that she fell pregnant at 16 and dropped out of school. Her friends weren't very nice to her, so she'd never resumed her education. So now she had time, she decided to go back to school to experience her lost youth. That's why, Franny, you should never let others' mean words get to you. Cherish what you have, because there are still people who love that side of you. What she said was really touching, and it reminded me of Jose's compliments on my hair. Granny, so what about the Tinder account? Oh, I know you really like Jose, so I created an account to learn more about him so I could help you. Turns out, that profile picture was Grandma when she was younger, hence the similarity to me, and Moore actually was her maiden name. I hugged her and profusely apologized for my poor behavior. She gently patted my head, smiled, and said she'd take me to a secret spot. The next day, I returned to my naturally frizzy hair and put on the dress Granny gave me. It wasn't trendy, but it fit me perfectly, and weirdly, I felt kinda confident wearing it. My grandma and I happily walked into a book cafe when I spotted Jose. I've brought the person you're looking for here. We both looked at her with questioning eyes. You mean, turned out there was still one thing she hadn't told me, that the alias Moore she put up on Tinder was all based on my preferences, my hobbies, my habits, my taste in music, etc. She'd been collecting everything about me to text Jose. I had to let him know there's an interesting girl like our Franny out there, right? That was why Jose didn't feel as compatible with Amy. Then the intelligence round confirmed it, as he and the mysterious girl both had one thing in common, a passion for Sudoku. In the end, everything was cleared up. Grandma is still attending my school, and I actually don't mind it anymore. She brings in homemade cakes for me and my friends, tells us interesting stories about the old days, and gives out the best advice. Most importantly, she made me realize that being me isn't so bad, frizzy hair and all. Almost forgot. You're also wondering what happened between me and Jose, huh? Well, I think you should see for yourself.
Hi, I'm Nuella. I was raised by a single mom alongside my twin sister, Nancy. Mom was the CEO of a beauty company she managed to establish after our soldier dad passed away and was obsessed with making us look our best to attract customers. But Mom just didn't understand that I wasn't a fan of plastering my face with makeup. Even body lotions made me feel like a slippery eel. My sister Nancy, on the other hand, was a beauty enthusiast, just like Mom. Like one time when I was 13, Mom broke a whole crate of eggs just to use as a face mask. All right, girls, it's face pamper time. While she was busy applying the yucky stuff all over Nancy's face, I snuck off to the kitchen and scrambled the rest. Mom then showed up with Nancy in their ridiculous masks. It's your turn, Nuella. You fried them. Well, a glowing stomach is better than a glowing face, Mom. But it makes you prettier, makes your skin glow. Listen here, Nuella. I don't know what your deal is reading stupid books all the time. Blasphemy! Books are life, Mom. And I told you, I want to be a novelist. A novelist? Do you want to be broke forever? It's the most useless job ever. That's right. All you need to do is invest in yourself to look pretty, and a rich man will surely sweep you off your feet. Why can't you be more like Nancy? How about trying to educate yourself and make your own money instead of waiting for Mr. Moneybags? Writing stories was my jam. Creating worlds in my head and birthing characters gave me more joy than anything. And Mom thought I was kidding until our 18th birthday. All right, make a wish. I'll grant it. I wish for a change of wardrobe. Done. And you, Nuella? I wish to be a full-time writer, Mom, just like Stephen King or J.K. Rowling. Ha! Sorry, Nuella, but that wish is never coming true. You're running my business, and that's final. How can you decide my life for me? At least Nancy's got her beauty. She can snag a rich man, but you're not as pretty. I'm just looking out for you. That hurt. Mom, I'm an adult. Seeing that I wasn't willing to budge, Mom turned icy on me. She made me pay house bills, and unable to bear it, I moved out. But being a writer wasn't all that rosy. No one wanted to publish my book. And at home, things became way too tough. I couldn't even afford a proper meal after already having lost my electricity in the house. I didn't even have any choice but to find a part-time job so I could support myself. I got hired as a cashier at Eggers Market, a billion-dollar chain store across the country. And that was how I met Keith, a fellow cashier. Sweet guy, but Hey, Nuella. Maybe this weekend we can, I don't know, go to the arcade? Thank you. I mean, I'm not a game person. Sorry. Next time. Bye. I like hanging out with Keith too, but with my life messier than a spaghetti explosion, dating was not on my menu. Missing my family intensified as Christmas approached. Then, one evening, out of the blue, Mom called to spill the beans that Nancy was tying the knot. She wanted the family together for Christmas, one last time before the big day. I was excited to see them again. Little did I know the life-changing drama that lay ahead for me. On my way to catch a cab for the ride to Mom's house, I smacked into a guy. Get out of the way, little girl. I caught a glimpse of a snake tattoo on his arm. Totally freaked me out. Those guys just robbed one of Edgar's market stores. Are you okay? What? Which one? The one on Broadway. It's like someone is targeting Edgar. True that. It wasn't the first time Edgar's stores had been robbed. I prayed the one I worked at never became a victim. In minutes, I was knocking on her front door, and that's when Nancy and her boyfriend arrived. Before I could even say a greeting, Mom swung the door open and zeroed in on Nancy as if I were invisible. Nancy, my baby, I missed you. Is this your car? That's Ryan's car, Mom. No way. Hi, Ryan. Welcome to the family. Come on in. You must be tired from driving. Mom hadn't even acknowledged my presence. Once inside, I forced aside the small jab of jealousy to catch up with Nancy. Nancy, you look good. Thanks. How about you? Are you Stephen King or something now? I hope it's something bigger than the family's business. Well, I got a well-paying job at Panda Publishing Company. What? That's like one of the biggest publishing companies in the States. Why didn't you tell me when I called? It's a Christmas surprise. Oh, Nuella, I'm so happy. I got this for you, Mom. Can we go eat? I'm hungry. Okay, don't judge me for lying. Nancy was practically oppressing me with her achievements. While we were having lunch, Mom began asking Ryan questions like he was in a job interview. So, Nancy says you come from a really big family? Yeah, my dad is Edgar, you know, the CEO of Edgar's Market. At that bombshell, my mouth rejected the food in it. Nuella, are you okay? Drink water quick. I'm okay, Mom. Goodness gracious. Ryan was the CEO's son, the big boss of the company I worked at? He doesn't seem to recognize me, though. It makes sense because we've never crossed paths because my department was in the basement of the organizational hierarchy. But now how could I go to work with him under the same roof without getting busted? I spent most of that night thinking of a solution. And before morning, I had a master plan in place. And the plan first started with Keith, ringing our doorbell. Hello, is Lady Nuella in? I'm Keith, her chauffeur. Chauffeur? Oh, I see you met my driver. Just one of the many perks working at Panda Publishing. See ya. As soon as we left the house, I changed into my work clothes. Keith, you're a lifesaver. What's with all this drama? What's wrong with telling them you're a cashier? You won't understand. I can't let Nancy have the upper hand all the time. She has everything going well in her life, and I have nothing. You have me, Nuella. Do you want to get a coffee quick? Sure. That same day, we were busy at work when Ryan strolled in acting all bossy to everyone. Quick, Keith, cover me. What's going on? It's just the CEO's son. He's the one Nancy is dating. If he spots me, he'll blow my cover. Are you sure he's dating Nancy? Because he's with our manager right now. Ryan was two-timing my sister with our manager? I peered over the counter, and that's when I saw Ryan cornering Katie the blondie. I approached the shelf where Ryan was, pretending to rearrange while eavesdropping. Starlight in, 8 p.m. Don't be late, handsome. So this guy was three-timing my sister, the manager, and Katie? I was so shocked I almost busted my cover, but I escaped before I could be seen. I rushed home to tell Nancy. Nancy, Ryan is a womanizer. I saw him with a girl. You saw him? Where? How? Are you stalking my fiancé? No, Shoot, I couldn't tell her I worked for his family's company. I heard people say bad stuff about him, you know? Really bad stuff. Listening to rumors, are we? You should know better than that. I bet her jealousy didn't let her think straight. Instead of being happy for me, you're busy snooping around desperate for dirt on my fiancé. Really, Nuella? If I knew you would ruin the spirit of Christmas for all of us, I wouldn't have invited you. Apologize now. No way! He's a snake. I swear, keep your mouth shut. If you continue with any of this nonsense, you'd better pack your things out of here. Now get out. It was like the floor was torn from beneath me. me. I felt rejected, and then Ryan came and showed me my work ID. How did you get it? So, you work at Edgar's store? What happened to Panda Publishing? None of your business! Get out! You have some guts calling me out when you're such a faker yourself. Pull that stunt again, and I'm telling everyone that you're just a lowly cashier. Chuckling evilly, Ryan walks off. Trapped and trying to ease the tension, I apologized to Ryan and Nancy, giving Ryan the benefit of the doubt. But that night, he threw my doubts back at my face while I was washing dishes. Look, I know why you're so frowny. I apologized. Now get off of me. But you got the hots for me, huh? If it eases your vibe, I'm into you too. You're so unique. Let's go out. Nancy won't know. I resisted the urge to smack him with a pot. It was official. He was a scumbag, and Nancy needed to know. So I decided to play along. Perhaps I could implicate him and show Nancy evidence of his evilness. Oh, Ryan, how did you know? Since I set my eyes on you, I've been dreaming about us. Then let's go out tomorrow night. I'll text you the address. Bingo. And that's how I found myself dressing up for a date after work the next day. Whoa, you look dashing. Where are you off to? Keith's compliment had butterflies fluttering in my stomach. For the first time in a while, I felt beautiful. Thanks. I'm going out. Out? Like a date? Yes, with Ryan. Let me explain. I told Keith everything I planned, but nothing I said made sense to him. This is risky. What if Ryan wants to hurt you? I'll be fine and ready to take that jerk down. I got to the restaurant early, but I spotted Ryan with the guy I recognized as one of Edgar's store robbers. Same build, same snake tattoo. Intrigued and concerned, I discreetly approached, phone recorder ready. Tell the boys. We hit the one on New City Street tonight. That old man Edgar dared to mess with me. Let's see how he likes his stores rated. Yes, boss. We will be ready. Ryan hired these gangsters to rob his own stores? This guy's a psychopath. Nuella, baby, you look great. Unlike Keith, Ryan's compliment made my skin crawl, and his hug made my stomach churn. You're robbing your father's store? Was that also your doings, having the store on Broadway robbed the other day? It's my future store. Consider it taking an advanced paycheck. You won't tell. You know what's at stake. Too bad for you. Right now, I think my sister's safety is more important than my pride. Ryan tried to grab me, but I bit his arm and ran away, leaving him cradling it in pain. I raced home to spill the beans about Ryan. Nancy, Ryan is... But I was greeted by a hot slap. That's for trying to steal my man. What? I wasn't... My friend saw you at a restaurant with him. I was just faking it. You know what else? I called Panda Publishing today, but they said there was no one by the name Nuella working there. Turned out you're working at a store as a cashier? Yes, I did, and I'm really sorry, but look, Ryan is dangerous. He works with a gang that robs his father's stores. How can we trust you? If you can lie about your job, you could lie about anything else too. Why do you keep disappointing me? Their palpable disappointment felt like the world crashed on my shoulders. There was only one person left to turn to. I'm going to meet his dad to expose him. I have a recording of him admitting the crime. He will regret messing with me. I'm not sure that's a good idea since he knows you know. Let's think of something less dangerous. I'll grab you something to calm down, okay? While he went to fetch me the calming thing, I couldn't wait, so I sneaked out and headed straight to Edgar's headquarters. Hello, I would like to meet the CEO of Edgar. It's urgent. Someone is planning to rob his store. I have evidence. Evidence, huh? Come with me. The security guard led me to an elevator. Then we stopped in front of a room. Boss, someone's here to see the CEO for the robbery of the stores. She has evidence. The door opened, and instead of Ryan's dad, I was looking at Ryan? I tried to run, but they caught me and pushed me in. I was so scared. I should have listened to Keith. You little witch. Because of you, Nancy dumped me, and now you're reporting to my dad. How dare you? She made the right choice. You're the furthest thing from boyfriend material. The manic look in Ryan's eyes told me I was a goner. But suddenly, Keith burst in like a superhero with 2 policemen and saved the day. Freeze! The police! Are you okay? I nodded and hugged Keith in relief. His broad shoulders calmed me down, and I knew I was safe. You might as well swap your ears for something else. Sorry. You never listen. Always so impatient. I know. Yada yada yada. Why are you so stubborn? I shut him up with a kiss, and it felt so right. Turned out, Ryan's dad had kicked him out before because of his prodigal habits. But instead of turning over a new leaf, Ryan formed a gang targeting his dad's stores. Now, Edgar plans to give him a taste of jail to cool off. News of my heroic escapade spread like wildfire, reaching my family before I could even get home. The moment I stepped into the house, Mom and Nancy hugged me like I'd been away for a year. I am so sorry for misjudging you all this time. You were just looking out for me, but I was so shocked and heartbroken I got mad at you when actually Ryan Ryan was the jerk all along. I love you, sis. And I'm so sorry for lying. I just wanted Mom to be proud of me, too. But I'm proud of you, Nuala. After the hardship I suffered losing your dad, money became the paramount thing in my life. I thought it was all there is to happiness, so I pushed you guys to get it. But now, I realize I was wrong. Imagine if Nancy never married Ryan. How unhappy she'd have been. Whether you're a cashier or Stephen King, I don't care. I just want you girls to be happy. Merry Christmas, my love.
It was the best moment of my life. Finally, we could understand each other. Our reconciliation had to be a good luck charm, because on Christmas Eve, I got a call from a movie producer who wanted to adapt my novel to a movie. The contract was gonna pay millions. Finally, I was making my big break as an author. We celebrated that special Christmas with a big feast. And boy, was my mom and Nancy surprised when Keith showed up. What's your chauffeur doing here? Chauffeur? No, everyone meet Keith, my boyfriend, who, by the way, was just promoted to the overall manager of Edgar's Market. Yep, that had been decided by Edgar, the CEO. Welcome to the family, Keith.